and I believe the Civil War. That one seems to have slipped through the cracks. Nobody's caught on with that one. Okay. But they moved from the South to the fucking another country, and they will kept the name. I hope that the Washington football team, I hope that stays. I hope they like it. I hope that they ram it down everybody's throat. I hope it's the most absurd name ever to come up for a football team, just because of the people that are pushing to happen. I think it's great. What are your thoughts on that?
What are my thoughts on that? You know what, Jeff? Yeah, I got to be honest with you. If they kept it the Washington football team, I would be okay with that. Keeps burden color. Okay, so they just announced that the Redskins will keep the colors on the side of the helmet is going to be the player's number.
Really?
That's just up on ESPN right now. I was just flipping channels, and that's on. Jeff, here's my thought. Yes, if I was Dan Snyder, I would tell him that's the name of my football team. I think that would piss everybody off.
Yep.
It would keep him from having to do trademark problems. They're just the Washington football team. Again, on this show, I will always refer to them as the Redskins.
Long live the Redskins, man.
They will be the Redskins from this point on.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
It's not a matter of whether you're a fan of
the
Redskins.
Yeah.
I know, but you're not a matter of you're a fan of the Giants, the Jets, the Oakland Raiders, whoever. It's a matter of that somebody got a hissy fit and now all of a sudden wants the name of this team changed.
Yeah.
Now, yes, this started years ago, but these teams with these names, the Indians, the Braves, the Redskins, they were not named. These were names and words that we used at a time that were acceptable.
Yeah.
Nobody had the power to foresee almost 100 years later where, this may be unacceptable. Now, like the new hockey team that just started, the Seattle Kraken. I'm sure that there's going to be some people that are into ocean wildlife that are going to turn around and say that this name is offensive to the bottlenose dolphin or the timber shark or whatever it's called. You know what I mean?
Here's what I can't understand, Jeff. Why? I mean, the Cleveland Indian players had a meeting this week to discuss what to do with their name. Like, why is the Indian team name offensive? I don't know. That's the part I don't understand. Well, why is calling the Cleveland Indians offensive?
Listen, how about this? You know what? If I was the owner of the Cleveland Indians, I would have a second meeting, and I'd be like, "Listen, I'm happy that everybody has a concern, but here's the bottom line: it's none of your fucking business. This is a business. You work for me.
Yeah,
sign a contract with me. If you don't like it, let me know. I terminate your contract. I promote the entire AAA fucking franchise and team up to Cleveland. It may be rough for a while, but you know what? We're going to get some new blood in here. The name of the team is the Cleveland Indians. You had no problem taking that money, signing, that bottom line.
I agree.
That check every week.
I agree.
The team.
I agree with you, Jeff. I agree wholeheartedly. And here's the thing for me. If you want to support Black Lives Matter, the organization, or you want to support Black Lives Matter as a movement, or you want to go after the Washington Redskins, and you want whatever it is that it's your social justice or political thing, go for it. That's what makes this country great. That you can go out there and you can tell people what you think and why you think it, and if you can sway them to changing it, I'm okay with it. That's what the country's all about. What I don't like, what I can't deal with right this second is it being thrust down my throat, in decals and messages, and it's only and the thing is, there's nothing in there. I want. How about a Blue Lives Matter a patch or a banner? These are things that bother me, and
you can't have that.
I agree. I understand that. To me though, I'm tired of it. And tonight during the show, we're going to call the NFL offices and Major League Baseball's office, and we're going to let them know how we feel. And we're going to invite them to come on the show, and they can, come on and tell us why this is important to them. But judging by social media, Jeff, and last year, 4 years ago, everybody was out there saying that Hillary Clinton was going to be president, and I kept looking at my social media and saying, "Holy cow!" Nobody on this thing is picking Hillary, and sure enough, Trump wins. And it's the same thing. Everybody out there is just blowing off football, baseball. I don't get it, Joe. Jeff, I don't get it.
Tom, I'm not a big Trump guy. I'm not a Trump guy because of Trump himself. I just don't like him as a person. I know that these other people are fucking nuts and they're out of their minds. Don't get me wrong. But it's scary to think when you go on social media, there's such a movement to change these things.
Yeah.
And our way of life and everything else.
Yep.
I don't know if everything has swung in the favor of the other side.
No, I don't. I disagree. I think you're hearing for this. I think you're healing from the silent majority now.
Where is the Republican side, the conservative side that says, why can't there be the Redskins? Why can't there be the Indians? I hear
agree
people
with that. You're right.
All over the place saying we need to change this, we need to change that, we need to change this, but nobody under the sun is stepping up and saying, what are you doing?
Well, the only one who is and who has in the past has been Trump. Trump has been the lone guy who said,
listen, put Trump right off to the side. He's the president. He's got other things going on with the pandemic.
No, I'm saying he's the one voice, but you need more, and that's the problem.
I don't see anybody else in the news.
No,
I don't see protests protesting the protests.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't see people gathering. They painted a blue line on Highland Boulevard the other day, and then they came and they graffitied it or something, and they were like, oh, now there's no more blue line. But yet we can have Black Lives Matter written everywhere. Okay? Now, we can't say Black Lives Matter, because if you say Black Lives Matter, you're racist.
White Lives Matter.
No, Black Lives Matter. Remember when all of this first started? If you said Black Lives Matter, you were racist.
Okay.
If you said all lives matter, you were racist.
Correct.
God forbid you even think of saying the words white lives matter.
Yeah.
Forget about it. You must be burning black babies in your basement and everything else. Okay? It's disgusting. Nobody has been saying anything differently.
Yeah.
And all of this stuff is just piling up and piling up and piling up. It's just like it's not stopping.
No, you're right.
And when and how and where does it stop?
November 4th. November 4th. November 4th.
Dude, November 4th, it could be worse than ever before.
I'm telling you, after the election, you're going to see tons of stuff going away, because this is all stuff being whipped up by people to change the election, because people are trying to get things so crazy that people who are on the fence voting will go, we got to just change it because it's too much chaos. We need something new. I'm telling you, that's going to happen. You're going to see a big change in things, and yes, after that, you're going to have all the crazy Democrats. I've said it all the time. We're going to have chaos from that end of it. You're going to see all these crazy things happen, policies. But
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
But you got to be happy this week. Your boy Trump heard you, and he's sending in the troops to the cities and quelling these protests.
It's about time. It should have happened.
Yeah, so
it should have happened a while ago. Fuck these people. Fuck these people. Either that, or you know what? Just turn around and say, you know what? Seattle, take it.
Well, that's what he said, because I think it was Minneapolis. They actually went to him and said, "Oh yeah, by the way, we need about $9 billion to pay for all the damages during the protests and riots." And he said, "Good luck with that. You ain't getting a nickel."
You know what, dude? Here's the thing that scares me too. Okay, and that worries me. And this is where there's going to be more problems. I'm not saying that everybody should pay for these damages, but I live in a state, New York. I live in the city of New York. Of course, not Manhattan, but Staten Island. That is affected by the stupidity that goes on.
Right.
So the city that I live in gets damaged and destroyed, and it's just going to be like, well, sorry.
Yeah.
Can't help you. And it's not right to the other people that live here. Now,
I got you.
I understand.
We voted for morons. Somebody who voted that moron into office, and unfortunately, New York should pay for it, because that's, it's their fault. New Yorkers should have got up and not voted him in.
The entire city has to pay for the stupidity of what this guy is doing now.
Yep,
he should actually be removed from office.
Oh, absolutely. Cuomo has the ability, and Trump to remove him. You can absolutely recall him and say, you're out. And he's threatened to do it, so you should do it.
Do it, because this guy, I don't think that he gives a fuck. I think that he as far as De Blasio goes, I think that he's trying his best to push people to the point where they just don't care.
Yeah, he's just feeding into it. He's just hoping that he parlays this into his wife becoming mayor someday. But let's put this on hold for a minute. I want to get my dad. Yeah, I say the same thing as you. I want to get my dad on. Then we got your cousin coming on, and then we got 2.5 hours, 3 hours after that to jump around. We're going to talk about the NFL tonight. Hopefully, there's an NFL season. I heard a report yesterday that a bunch of NFL players have tested positive. So I don't know where this is going. But let's get my dad on. Let's see what he's got to say. And then we'll get your cousin on when she pops up. And then lots of football talk and maybe some social messaging as well.
Good.
What's up, Pop? Hey, Dad.
What's up, guys? I tried to get on to the computer, but you didn't send me the thing.
I'm sorry, Dad. You know what? I completely forgot. I'm glad you called in.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm glad you called in.
That's all right. Don't worry about it now. I got it here. I just dumped all of that and just hit a 2-run home.
Oh, okay. It's a hell of a way to start the season. Yeah.
Yeah, Judge got a single,
Mm-hmm.
and Stanton hit it 459 feet.
Wow. That's the man can hit. There's no doubt about it if he stays healthy. That's
Yeah, so after the half inning, it's 2-0 Yanks.
okay.
But I don't know what to tell you. You listen to sports and you hear the owners crying and moaning and groaning about how they're going to lose money. They need 40%. Then they go out and spend almost $400 million for one player.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I don't understand that. I mean, where is this all coming from?
Well, I think the free agency was done well before this whole thing was going on. Now, had anybody known that they'd be playing without players in the stands, I got a feeling people wouldn't have been signing anybody to big contracts. I don't think anybody.
Supposedly they just signed him yesterday, Tom.
Signed who?
This ain't something that
Signed who, Dad?
Mookie Betts.
The Yankees or the Dodgers?
You didn't know?
I didn't see anything in the paper about Mookie Betts staying in the state.
Yeah, he signed with the Dodgers. He signed like a mega fucking $1 million
Okay, well, again,
deal.
yeah, okay, just popped up on my screen here. I see Dodgers signed Mookie Betts extension, offers for 12 years, $365 million. So then, you know what? Then if you're the Dodgers, I don't want to hear anything about it. I don't want to hear from the owners that they're losing money. You're 100% right.
That's what I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it. Sure.
You're losing 40% and you give a guy $365 million.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody worth that much. I don't give a shit who it is, man.
No, I listen.
Nobody worth, not baseball. Basketball, I'd say, yeah. Basketball, Michael Jordan, okay? Will Chamberlain, Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, guys, I'd say, yeah, they're worth the money because one guy could carry a whole team.
Right.
But in baseball, no, it doesn't work.
I'm with you. I don't want to hear anything from the players that they're oppressed. I don't want to hear from the owners that they can't afford things. I don't care. But the bottom line is, eventually at some point they will pass that money on to us. The ticket prices will go higher. The jersey costs will go up higher.
Well,
The cost of food.
I just don't understand
Yeah.
how the hell you can pay that kind of money.
Yeah.
And, wow, I almost fell out of my seat.
Yeah. I'm
talking about on TV today.
I'm shocked.
They said the same thing.
Yeah.
How can you pay that kind of money? But now I heard the Redskins. That's only a temporary name.
Yeah.
They just put that for this year.
Well, good. You know what? And that's fine. I tell you the truth. I think I agree with Jeff. I don't know if you heard the early part of it, but I would rather them stay with that name. Forget it. Why even bother come up? Because that's where we're headed anyway. Everything's going to be offensive. So it's going to be the New York team versus the New York team from the other side. It's going to be the Washington team versus the Seattle team. Everybody's going to be so offended by things that we're not going to have names of teams.
How about a team like Atlanta getting insulted that they had to play the Yankees? It was the North that beat the Yankees beat the South.
I've said it 100 times. When is it going to be time they're going to go after the Yankees or the Patriots? At some point we got to say enough's enough.
Well, I'm looking at they're getting like what do you call? You see all kinds of decals on the ball players.
Yeah.
You know, they got every kind of.
Oh yeah.
They got the Nike thing on now.
Yeah.
They got the patches on the Yankees. I thought you said I don't think that's on their regular uniforms because I'm looking. I don't see any of the players with.
Well, if you look on the left shoulder, if you look on the shoulder, you'll see the Hal Steinbrenner patch, and then right above that, I think is the Black Lives Matter thing.
On the left shoulder, I'm looking at Sanchez right now. I don't see it.
Yeah,
Maybe,
watch them all. See, you just watch that left side of this
I'm
the.
looking at what's his name, the picture.
You see, yeah.
Not his shoulder.
No, it's on his other. It's on his shoulder. If you look, it says you'll see HGS, which is for Hal Steinbrenner for him passing away, and then right above that, I'm pretty sure. So it's on the sleeve, right at the bottom of his sleeve.
Are you watching the game?
Yeah, I got it up in front of me right now. I turned it on just for that, just to see if they did it.
I can see it on the Nationals.
Same thing on the Yankees. Same thing.
Black Lives Matter.
Wait 1 second. You're going to see it on the Yankee uniform. They all got it. Yeah. Hold on.
I'm looking at what's his name. The picture.
Yeah. Give it a second. Wait. I'll stay with it until the next close up of one of them, either of Cole.
Like I say here, but this is the guy
on his glove arm. See that? Yeah. See, there's the guy from Washington. He's got the patch, and then he's got the Black Lives Matter. Same one on the Yankee shoulder. Same one.
Picture.
He has it. I'm telling you that. I've seen.
Okay, Tommy.
Yep.
I'm looking on top.
Yeah, no, he's got it. So I don't know, Jeff. It's pathetic, but baseball's here. You know, I'm ready to bail on it. To be honest with you, I don't know if it's on the mound. It was supposed to stencil it on the pitcher's mound, but you know, I haven't seen that yet. So I'm. Oh, there it is, right there, right behind him.
Tommy, you have two choices, man.
Yeah.
Either you do what you said, like just don't even bother with them anymore, or you know what? You know, it's a free country, and I agree with you. They're shoving this down, and I see both of them. You're right. I see two patches.
Yeah, and it's stenciled on the mound right behind the pitcher, right there. Look, BLM, right there.
I see it.
Come on, Dad, it's enough. We get it all day long. TV, radio, newspapers.
I know it's all over.
You know why?
Commercials.
Yeah, why?
How?
It's a baseball game.
Year.
I don't know. I'm fed up with it.
The National Studios,
yeah.
The West Coast hate him with a passion. The East Coast hates him with a passion.
Yeah.
They're going to do everything they could to get his ass the hell out.
Yeah, well, that's...
And baseball and football and basketball, listen, it's a money sport.
I got it, but you know what? Just be careful, because I think the people who are spending the money are the ones getting upset right now. So listen, you know, we said it. Jeff and I are going to call up. We're going to leave a message. We're going to invite them on the show. Obviously, they won't come on, and then we're going to voice our displeasure on what's going on. So we'll do that during the course of the show. But I don't know, Pop. Like I said, I was pumped up for baseball till today.
I understand the right of it.
Yeah.
There's time and a place for everything.
Exactly. And of course, of a baseball game or a football game, there's not the time and place to be shoving a message down our throats constantly.
I don't want your politics.
Yeah, this is not. You know what? Listen, it's the same. I don't want to hear Trump ads. During the game, I don't want them popping up a Trump picture. It's just not the place to be arguing. I want to argue with you or Jeff about the Yankee pitchers or who's the best hitter. Right. That's what I want to argue about. I want to argue about does 400 mean anything? That's what I want to argue about, guys. Not this.
Yeah,
it's a shame.
Yeah,
that's the way it is.
Crazy, man. Oh,
I don't know.
Every sport you put on, every TV show you put on,
yeah,
that's all they talk about.
Exactly, and it's just enough. It's just enough. I've had enough. I'm sure a lot of people have had enough. So, we'll see. And then you're right, Patty. We got Patty Lupica hanging there. The left is offended by Washington. I'm offended by all of this. And Patty, you're right. This is the politicians pushing the NFL and Major League Baseball and
a great Jeff's cousin.
Say again?
That was Patty. Is that the roller skater?
No, she's hanging in there. Allison's hanging in. We're going to get her on in a second.
Okay.
Yeah. So
because your uncle, for years, you was in the roller derby.
Yes, I know. My uncle was a roller derby guy. I know. I remember that.
We used to go to all the games.
Oh, really?
We used to go to all the games. Yeah, all the games. They were on 14th Street and 6th Avenue in the Armory.
Okay.
I think it was the 9th Regiment Armory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he knew them all.
Oh, really?
But all the Jerry Murray and all these, you talk to him, he can talk your ears off for hours about it.
maybe someday I'll get him on the show to talk a little roller derby. We're going to get Allison on and talk a little tonight.
God bless you, man.
Yeah.
God bless you. All right, guys.
All right, Pops.
Jeff, you take care. And
Good, Mr. Florio.
yes, Jeff, I really do.
Cool.
He's there.
Can he hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's my kind of guy. I love Jeff. All right, guys. Have a good week.
All right, Pop. I'll talk to you over the weekend.
Talk to you later.
All right. That's my dad. He checks it every week.
He still scares
Jeff,
me.
huh?
He still scares me, though.
It scares me too. What are you going to do? But, Jeff, you know what? We got somebody who doesn't probably scare you on the phone, on the show, on the video now. And I'm going to let you introduce her as I bring her on. And let's go talk to your cousin. Ready?
All right. Well, listen, right now I was texting with her earlier, so I don't know who we're getting. So we may get Babe Vigoda. It depends on what persona she's doing today. We were talking about it earlier. Or my cousin Allison Ferrola from Connecticut, a roller derby queen. But no further ado, let's bring her in and see what we got. It's just like Allison, I guess. Or
yeah. I don't know if I could squeeze into my old gear.
no problem. What's going on, cuz?
How you doing?
All right. What's the matter? You look a little nervous.
I haven't done this in like 6 years, maybe.
All right, you're the best looking guy on the screen right now, so you're all right.
Nice.
That's not nice, Jeffrey.
So, listen, tell us how roller derby. I remember watching that with my grandmother and grandfather. I believe it was on Channel 9 down here in New York. Do you remember that at all, Tom?
Oh, yes, I do. I do remember that. It's been a while, but yes, I do remember watching as a kid some of that. So
yeah, it was kind of like an old style sport. How did you end up getting into it all of these years later when it was like something that our grandparents probably watched?
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
Yeah, so a friend just found a flyer in a coffee shop, and for a bout that was about 30 minutes away, and she's like, we got to go to this, and I really think that this is something you're going to end up doing. So we went and we checked it out, and I was like, yeah, I got to learn to roller skate, but I definitely think that this is something I'd be into.
Oh, you
yeah, Jeff.
Roller skate before you started this?
No, I mean, I went to the roller rinks as a kid, but I mean, I didn't even know how to like stop without like grabbing a wall before this. I met somebody, one of my sister's friends that was skating with the league in Connecticut. So we went to some open skates and she showed me some, basics, and, I skated enough until I went and I tried out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Can you explain? I'm going to put it up on the screen. I actually found some roller derby highlights, and I want you for me, because while I know what the sport is, explain to me how it works. What is the idea and the theory behind roller derby? How does it work?
Okay, so you're playing offense and defense at the same time. For anybody more up to date listening, I've been out of the game for 6 years, so some rules may have changed. But the basics is you have 4 blockers and a jammer on the track each time. The jammer has the star on their helmet, and they are the only scorable player. The rest of the team is blockers, and their job is to stop the opposing team's jammer and to get your jammer through. When the jammer gets through the pack of players the first time, they do a lap around and they score a point for every opposing player that they pass on every turn around after that. And each jam can last up to 2 minutes. A jam is like the segment. So whoever gets through first legally, they get called lead jammer, so they have the ability to end it at any time or keep it going the full 2 minutes.
Okay. Now, how do you prevent somebody from getting through? Can you tackle them? Do you just knock them down? How do you prevent? What's legal and what's not legal?
So basically like no arms, like you can't use your arms and legs and like head. It's like more body checks. You can't use like an elbow. That's illegal. So you either want to trap them behind you where they can't get around you, either with like what they call it a booty block, or you form like a wall with your team, or you knock them out of bounds, and then you try to keep them from coming back in and passing you.
So you had to really know what you were doing, like as far as skating, because some of these girls must have been skating for years.
Yeah.
So when you went in there, you really had to know what you were doing. But like, was there anybody that got under your skin to the point where like it didn't matter if you knew what you were doing or not? You were just going to cripple them.
Well, I wouldn't say cripple them, but there were some people that, from opposing leagues that I didn't mind, throwing a little extra hip into them. Actually,
with sports like that, it's like hockey. Tempers tend to flare. Is there ever fighting? I mean, does anybody ever just sit out and just start hitting each other? Like, does that ever happen?
I've never seen it happen. They're pretty like strict with the rules. Like any fighting, you're instantly ejected. Like not even sit at the bench, get out. And you might face being expelled from your team. It's really, really discouraged. There is trash talk and stuff like that. And sometimes you will take a major penalty and take a trip to the box just because it's worthwhile. But
now, I know Jeff has anything, but I'm curious. Like, so how many teams were there when you were at the height of this, and how many leagues? And was there a lot of traveling involved? Was it around the country? Was it local?
Yeah. So when I got involved, roller derby was just starting to take off again, and it was going through a pretty big transformation. It was going from, like a more campy, type thing to women saying, hey, like we want to be recognized as the athletes that we are, because it takes a lot of stamina and it takes a lot of like thinking and smarts. It's not the goofy thing that people think it is. So I played for the Connecticut Roller Girls. We had a small intra-league home team series that we did just local. And then we had 2 travel teams that pretty much we stayed within 5 hours, I'd say, of Connecticut, but sometimes went farther. One of our teams was our nationally ranked team. The WFTDA is the large organization that they belong to, and that's where you go through the tournaments through, and you get your governing and everything.
Now, two things. Question. Louis Peak is asking, do they substitute like hockey? How does the substitution work?
So every jam, new players can come out, but like they can't send somebody else in the middle of an active jam.
Now, the one thing I noticed watching here is there's a lot of referees in this. There seems to be more referees than there are people roller derbying.
There is a lot, because you have inside pack refs, outside pack refs, and you'll have like a head ref, and jammer refs. So each team, like their jammer, will be assigned their own referee, that they follow the jammer and they specifically watch the jammer. Other refs will watch the blockers, and the head ref is kind of in charge of everybody. And they'll meet up. But yeah, there's a lot. And there's also, what you don't see is a lot of non-skating officials too.
Let me ask you a question. With the way that, you brought up how sometimes there could be fighting and how it's discouraged, is the roller derby a little bit like wrestling where there's a good team and a bad team, or is it trying to be pushed over as a real sport, or is it kind of like a little tongue-in-cheek kind of thing?
So when I first started, it was tongue-in-cheek. People had taglines and, more like themed and stuff, but they really have gotten away from that and are going for like a real sport. I mean, with any team, there's certain teams that are known for, with any sport, there's certain teams, that are known to have maybe more of an attitude or but they really were trying to get recognized as a real sport and away from like wrestling where they think things are staged.
Well, I'm watching it as we're talking, and there's a lot going on.
There is. I gotta put my glasses on because I'm.
The little
I do notice that they're using a lot of hands in this. There's a lot of people using a lot of hands.
Yeah.
There's a lot of signals.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you can use your hands on your own player. See her tapping her hips? She called off the jam.
Okay.
Why would she do that? What happened?
Either she got through and the other player's about to score, maybe, or she wasn't having as successful a jam in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
It's really all strategy to call it off. I mean,
obviously, did you ever get hurt? Did you ever come out of this with a few more than bumps and bruises?
Yes, I have. I tore my PCL.
Wow.
I was laid up for a while.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of skating and a lot of bodies in a short little area here. And I notice a lot of referees and there's just all seems to be a lot of happening. And I just see people, it's kind of like rugby to me. Just a lot of people.
Yeah, rugby on wheels,
together. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. See, when they knocked her out of bounds, you notice the person who knocked her will stop because she has to enter back in behind her. So the farther back you can kind of get away with staying within your pack limits, the more work they have to do to come back in.
Wow.
There seems like there's so much involved. I mean, I always thought that they went around in a circle, like around the course or the rink or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And you knocked your opponent out, and it was, the one with the most people standing at the end of a certain time. And I guess it couldn't be any further than wrong than thinking that way. But it seems like there's a lot of strategy and a lot going on. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, there really is. And if you notice that they're skating on a flat track, it's not like the banked track like that they used to be. There still are some banked track leagues, but flat track, you're also moving on your own momentum.
When these tracks like this that you're talking about, when you went to go skate, where did this happen? Was this like in a gym or at a roller rink? Where did these contests happen?
We practiced at a roller rink where they let us lay a track down like with tape permanently. So that was like our scrimmage and our practice track. When we bouted, we were at a sports center on sport court like that, and we would come in early and lay our track down and set it all up. And then after, we would have to pull it all up and we'd have to clean by hand all the scuff marks off the floor.
Oh, wow. So you guys didn't have an actual rink or arena or whatever that was specifically for roller derby?
No, we didn't. And I mean, we had looked into it, but there was really nothing that could accommodate. And it was like a part-time job because it was a business as well. Every player had to do committee work, PR, and we had practice requirements. You couldn't just say, "Yeah, I'm a roller girl," and then show up to the game and play. You had to show up. You had to do the work.
Now, how long were you in and involved with and on a roller derby team?
About 6 years, I think.
So
5-6 years.
So, and you've been out of it for 6 years.
I have, yes. I didn't know that my last bout was my last bout, but it was because Katie came.
Well, me and Tommy, as you know, you came and watched us play at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Musicians, and we stopped playing each for a long period of time each, and then one day we got back into it, and bang, there we're playing. Is there ever a chance of you coming out of retirement and maybe going out the right way when you know that it's going to be your last match? And
I don't know, because it really takes a toll on your body and it takes a lot of time. And I'm not getting any younger. So, and having 2 little kids, like to be running around and, laid up and sore and bruised, I don't know if I could do it. I miss it terribly. Maybe I'll get back into volunteering or something, but.
I don't know. Me and Tommy, we talk and we never know when our last show is going to be, only because sometimes we get tired of dragging equipment around and
Right.
playing in front of 3 people at times. But
Yeah.
sometimes, but when you're out there and you're actually doing it, where you get excited, be like, I want to play, I want to do this. But like with the pandemic, I don't know what's going on. We hope to play again soon.
Right.
You know, is that the same? Like, do you keep in contact with any of these girls? Does anybody ever say to you, like, you know, come on, one more time around, let's do this?
Occasionally, we talk more about like hitting up an open skate and just kind of like seeing like if we don't, you know, fall over at this point. But no, I mean, I've made lifelong friends through it. They're some of the hardest working people I've ever been around, and they pay to do this. You know what I mean? You pay dues, you buy gear.
As you can see behind Tommy, the guitar on the wall, you know, every time that we get a good idea, like, well, maybe I want to buy a new bass or guitar, or I need something. You know, this is an expensive hobby. So I know what you're saying, that the time and effort and everything else that you put into it, cool hobbies are never cheap.
No.
Never cheap.
No, they're not. No, they're not. But I'm glad you came on tonight and kind of give us, you know, we've Patty, who's listening, a good friend of mine from Staten Island. He was talking about Channel 9, just what Jeff said, and they featured the San Francisco Bay Bombers with Ann Cabello, who had pink hair. It was a little like wrestling on skates at the time, he said.
I vaguely remember it being like in black and white.
Yes.
I remember seeing it on my grandfather's TV. It's just unbelievable, man. Wow, we're really giving our ages away here.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. But Allison, I want to thank you for coming on tonight and helping us out with a few minutes of roller derby. Listen, the way the great pro sports are going right now, we may be looking for roller derby to take over, because I'm fed up with everything else. So we'll see what happens. Maybe roller derby will be the new #1 sports talking point on the Hard Rock and Sports Show.
I'm telling you, if you find, sorry, Jeff.
No, let's just ask it a question. Does roller derby support Black Lives Matter, or is it a renegade league?
Wow. Oh, I'm sure they do. Like,
are they going to have, you know, stickers and?
They lost us already, Jeff. They lost us already.
I mean, a lot of people are very passionate about their causes with roller derby. That's for sure.
To me, I want sports all the way from politics, whether my politics or others. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that. We're going to call up a couple of commissioners in a couple of minutes, and we're going to do a lot of football tonight as soon as we can. But I want to thank Allison for coming on and talking a little bit about Babe Fagoda and her roller derby experience. And I can't thank you enough. And thank you for accepting my friend request today.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for sending it.
Very welcome. Jeff, I'll let you end this.
Well, Allison, it's always a pleasure to see you and talk to you, and I wish that we lived closer. We could see one another a little bit more, but at least we got this. We were able to hang out and give us some insight into roller derby. Thank you for spending some time with us.
Hey, wait,
absolutely,
before you go,
Allison, I'm still waiting for my visit.
Wait, by the way, Allison,
I'm going to come up there. I promise. I'm telling you right now on video, so you got it. As soon as it's clear, and I'm not worried about getting the virus because I already had it.
Yeah.
So as soon as there's a little things first to do, you let me know, and we'll make the arrangements, and I'll get up there.
All right.
Allison, I know Jeff for 40 years, close to 40 years now. Do you know I never knew you existed? You and your family existed in the Towinski household. I didn't know idea you guys were cousins.
She's not a Towinski, that's why.
I know she's not Towinski. I get the last names, but
from my grandmother's side.
I'm related to Tootsie.
Okay, I know some Cocozas. I happen to know a few. I got it, but I saw. How come I didn't know about the Ferullos and I know about the Cocozas?
Well, what the fuck? I got to know everything. I'm like an international man. What can I tell you?
My grandparents left Staten Island in the 50s and came here.
I didn't know they existed for God knows how long.
Well, Allison, I'm glad we know you now. And listen, you're welcome anytime. And thanks for every week, every once in a while, you pop up on our screen. So thank you very much for doing that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I love your show. It's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, that's the first. That's the first we've heard that one before, Jeff.
Yeah, really.
Say hello to the rest of your family, and thank you very much. Stay safe.
All right. See you later, guys.
Be good. See you later.
That's Jeff's cousin Allison, who stopped by for a couple of minutes to talk. Jeff, Mike Tyson going to fight Roy Jones Jr. in September.
Wow. I didn't know. I'm glad you brought that up. I always thought that Roy Jones was fought in lower weight classes.
I think he did. I don't think he ever. I don't remember him fighting as a heavyweight.
Dude, they had him listed that he won a fucking belt as a heavyweight.
He might have, but again, I don't think that's his normal thing. But okay,
no, I don't think. No, it wasn't his normal weight class.
Yeah,
and I don't even remember when that happened, and I don't even remember who he beat.
Yeah,
but
who paid attention?
He was like a I don't know. Maybe somebody else is listening; they would know. But I think it was like from middleweight. And like he went up like a whole bunch of classes and he made it as far as heavyweight. But I thought he was like in the 150 to 170 range, something like that.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Yeah, I find that to be actually. I guess I'm trying to figure out. I mean, maybe Roy Jones was the only one who volunteered to fight Tyson. I don't know why. Why that would be the interesting matchup. But listen, I guess we're all going to watch it at some point, right? I would imagine.
And I can tell you this much. It's going to be a good fight, I bet you. Only because if Roy Jones is faster than Tyson, okay, he may be able to tire Mike out and he may be able to win. I'm not saying it's going to be a classic bout that we're going to talk about for the next 10 years.
Yeah, no, I don't expect that.
I don't think it's going to be a schlock fest either. I think it's going to be a good match.
I'm going to predict it without looking at anything that for 3 rounds it's going to be a really, really good fight.
I don't think it's going to go 3 rounds.
I think for 3 rounds, then I think that Mike has a heart attack.
There's a good chance that he has cardiac arrest and it stopped with a fucking heart attack. But
I think it stopped a long time ago. So
we saw some of the footage of Mike Tyson.
Oh yeah,
video of him sparring where he says, "I'm back," and I had a chill go up my spine. If he happens to tag Roy Jones, I think Roy Jones will fucking orbit the earth for a couple weeks before he comes down.
Yeah, it reminded me of I don't know if you watched the last Rocky, which was Balboa, and he's fighting the heavyweight champ, and it's just basically imagine listen, you're too old, you can't run anymore, your bones don't work. We're just gonna go out there and knock the crap out of him, and that's what he just got all pumped up, and I think so pissed changing your hot water heater in the basement, low services. Oh, heart attack. So I think that's Tyson's just going to go out there and say, if I put my hands on you, I'm going to blow you up.
I think Roy Jones knows that. I mean,
let me ask you a dumb question. Let's get to football in a second, but let me ask you a dumb question. Mike Tyson goes out there, kicks the crap out of Roy Jones Jr. in like 30 seconds in, he's pounding him and it's over. Does Mike Tyson try to come back out of retirement full time and try to fight?
Honestly.
Yeah, honestly.
I could, other than Mike Tyson at this point in time, I could not name one heavyweight boxer in that.
I can name them. I couldn't tell you. I've never watched any of them fight, but I know them by name. Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Those are
those names I know. Would Mike Tyson be able to step in the ring and survive against somebody 20, 30 years maybe younger than he is? I don't know, dude. I don't know, because if he kept it short, he has a chance to win with
to me, he'd have to go in and try to knock the crap out of the guy for 3 rounds and try to.
He'd have to connect to the Tyson of old. But if it turns into where stamina is needed, I think he goes down quick.
I'm just curious. Do you think he'd even give it a shot if he goes out there and beats up on Roy Jones Jr.? And I don't know how much of a feat that is at this point, but. If he does, do you think I think this is geared up to see what he can do and what the interest level is. I think if enough people watch that fight and it blows up, and I think it's going to, I think that people are starving for stuff, and I think it's an interesting thing. If they go out there and they sell tons and tons and tons of stuff of people watching this and pay-per-view, and I got to be honest with you, I think they're going to push for Tyson to go fight again for $50 million.
Yeah, it's a very good possibility. Yeah, it is a good possibility that he might. Yeah,
absolutely. And guys, we're going to talk a little football tonight. Tonight is our 2020 NFL Training Camp show. It's the 6th annual. In fact, the very first show, July 31st, 2014, was my very own Hard Rockin' Sports NFL Training Camp report. It sounded a lot different than it was tonight. And now you can see us, which I don't know necessarily if anybody is thrilled by that fact, but you can see Jeff and I live here. Check out hardrockinsports.com. But Jeff, I want to get to some big things tonight. I want to talk about the biggest topics, the biggest stories going to training camp. We'll get that first. We're going to break down the two local teams a little bit. We're going to talk about the AFC and the NFC East since that's where our teams play. We'll talk. We're going to go around the league a little bit and try to touch on different teams and some of the bigger issues. We'll talk about the coaches on the hot seat, and then we're going to pick the division winners through the Super Bowl.
All right, man, let's do it.
So let's talk about it, Jeff. So we're going to run through these quick. We got about 2 hours. I want to, in about maybe 15, 20 minutes, we're going to make our phone calls.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, man.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna let you handle them. I'm gonna do the dialing and all that good stuff, but I'll let you handle that. But Jeff, let's start with the big stuff, the most obvious stuff. No fans in the stands. How different will football be this year based on what we see right now?
Tom, I don't know. I mean, somebody at work told me that they were piping in crowd noise.
Yes.
For baseball and everything. And I think that football, more so than baseball, relies on the energy of the crowd. And without a crowd there, and I don't know what it's going to be like. It's going to sound so much differently. You're going to hear things that maybe you normally wouldn't hear in a football game. Maybe you're going to hear "get that fucking" stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
You're going to hear a very raw game, and I personally wonder if how they're going to control that. But it's going to be very interesting to see, and how this is all going to play out. How are they eventually going to let people into the stands and bring people back into the game? What happens if this isn't cleared up on some level by the Super Bowl? Do they play the Super Bowl in front of America watching it on their TV set? You know what I mean? What happens?
Yeah, it's a great question. The second part of that question, Jeff, is how. The last few years we've said it. The first month of the season is almost like an extended training camp. There's a lot of ugly football, a lot of penalties. With no training camps, no mini camps, no OTAs. What do you think the quality of football is going to be the first month or so of the season?
First of all, I think the quality of football is going to go far beyond the first month of the season. That's one thing. I think it's going to go, a couple months into the season because, like you said, you're going to have some of these guys are going to be meeting for the first time, right before the real games start. Sure. Now they're talking that there is no preseason games.
Correct. No preseason games.
So the first time that an offensive line plays together may be, you don't even know if these guys are going to gel. Do they even know one another's names? Nothing. You don't know. It's all going to happen in the season.
Yeah.
They might as well just do what we do and do what we did and go to Newdorp and, you got 10 guys. Okay. 2 captains. Let's pick it.
Yeah.
And see what happens. Because that's what it's going to be like. Think about that.
It's possible. Again, you're going to get 6 weeks of training camp. They're all in there. They're starting out this week. And guys at Hard Rock Sports 347-826-9934. If you want to jump on and give us some thoughts from your end. I'm looking for that right now. As a matter of fact, what happened to that folder? But you're going to get 6 weeks of practicing and hitting against your own team. So I think there's a chance to get ready. But there's nothing like a warming up in a preseason game. But Jeff, we've talked about in the past when they've talked about limiting the preseason to 1 or 2 or 3 games instead of the current 4. How does a guy? A free agent signing, a 7th round draft pick. How does he get to show what he has and can do to stick on a team with basically no preseason at all?
I'm glad you brought that up because I was just going to ask the question. What happens? Don't they usually start with close to 90 players?
Yes, 90 guys usually on the roster. Yeah.
So now, how is that going to work with no preseason games to go by, to see who plays good? I mean, anybody can have a great practice and play lights out in practice, but now you get on the field and you're up against game speed and real competition, and it just doesn't work out. It's going to be a rough year. It's going to be a year like no other before. And I really think that the quality of the game is really not going to be up to NFL standard and par. till maybe closer to the middle of the season.
I'm going to agree with you on that, Jeff. I think we're far off from getting quality football.
You got to think 4 preseason games. That brings us through weeks 1 through 4.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you just said yourself, the first couple weeks. So now you're talking anywhere from week 6 to week 8 where they're really clicking. It could be rough. It's going to be rough.
Yeah. I think a lot of things like timing, obviously guys playing on the offensive line. I think defenses dominate early because defense is more of a
reaction.
Correct. And I think you'll see, you're going to probably see a lot of teams going to try to run the ball very early on. I think teams who are established running teams or have an established running back, teams like Dallas, teams like the Titans will probably be featuring that kind of play. I think it'll be easier than trying to throw the football.
Oh, definitely.
I think there's a chance you're going to see a lot of that this year. It's curious. Like I said, I heard yesterday driving to work that a bunch of NFL players have tested positive for coronavirus. So I'm curious how that goes. But
let me ask you something, Tom.
Yeah.
Being that it's a very good possibility that the run game is going to be extra big this year.
Yep.
Okay, extra big.
Mm-hmm.
Do we see more than 1 2,000-yard rusher this year?
Yeah, it's a really good. No, I think that's a really fair question. Do I think you get more than one? You know what? It wouldn't surprise me, but I doubt it. I'll still say that at some point teams are going to throw the football, and that's just what they do nowadays. Do I think there are some teams that'll feature it? I think you have a chance with Henry in Tennessee to be a guy who gets the ball so much that he may push for 2,000 yards. Other than that, I do think the backs will play a big role this year. I think you'll see a lot of throws to the backs, out of the backfield for a lot of teams. So I definitely think there's a feature this year. I think the presence of the running back will be greatly enhanced this year because of what people are going, because it's a simple thing to run the football, and it's a simple thing to throw the ball, swing passes out of the backfield. So
now let me ask you this.
Yeah.
All right, real quick.
Sure.
Do we see a 5,000-yard passer this year?
Wow. Oh, man. I'm going to say no. I'm going to tell you, I don't believe you'll see a 5,000-yard passer this year. I think the timing will be down. I think offense will be down this year, and I'll be surprised. There'll be some teams, teams like the Saints, teams like the Chiefs, who are established teams with established coaches, established players. I think they'll be fine, but I still think timing-wise, no. I don't believe you'll see a 5,000-yard passer this year.
No, I agree with you. If there is a 5,000-yard passer, I firmly believe that, like you just said, it'll be a team where these guys have a few years of rapport with one another.
I agree.
I think that this year is going to be bad for players like Terry Bridgewater, Newton, Brady, okay, and Phillip Rivers, and a few others.
Sure.
Just haven't had the time to get together with these teams.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, a guy like Rivers and Brady, who have been veterans in the NFL for God knows how long, might be able to overcome stuff like that, and may be able to, they may be able to elevate their game.
I agree. I think what happens is on teams like that, when you have players like a Brady or Phillip Rivers or maybe even a Cam Newton, I think the early part of the season you stumble, and then you catch that rhythm by midseason. And I think those teams will finish strong. But I think the first part of that season is almost going to be like a preseason. Teams are going to be working stuff out.
Definitely. In essence, a guy like Cam Newton, you got to think, what happens to Cam Newton? Does he even get the chance to shake off some of the rust? Or is he got to hit the ground running? And if that's the case, is he going to be able to even do it? Is he going to – a lot of questions. No,
listen, and that's a fair one. I mean, all indications seem to think that Barry, the kid Stintham is going to play, is going to be the starter up there. But here's again, no preseason. So, Bill Belichick's going into the season with a quarterback who's not really played more than a couple snaps in the NFL, and another guy who hasn't been healthy in a couple of years, and you have no idea who really can and will be the guy. I mean, I don't even know how much scrimmaging they'll do in camp this year. So, and then you wonder about the injuries.
Knowing all of that right now,
yeah,
who has the better shot to succeed without the other, Belichick or Brady?
That's a great question. And I'm glad you asked it because it's one of my next questions to you is going to be, I want to say Brady. I think Brady has the better opportunity right now to be more successful than Belichick.
Brady, of course, because not for nothing, Brady has Gronk with him. Okay. So Brady's going to be able to bring some of those plays from New England that were successful over the years,
right?
Team up with Gronk, and he's going to have, I think. Oh, that's your fault. I thought you were doing something silly there.
Nope, good.
I thought something was going to make its debut on the screen. The way all of a sudden I seen this thing in the corner, but I don't think. I think that Belichick is going to be changing on the fly and doing God knows what, and it's going to be all reactionary for him. But Brady has an old friend in Gronk.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a huge help to him. And I can see him being much more successful than Belichick.
I agree. But I think if Bill pulls it off, it'll be his greatest season yet. If he pulls off a playoff team or manages to get to near a Super Bowl, you can pat him on the back and say it. Hey, Jeff, but speaking of Brady and Belichick, did the fans in New England get the ending they deserved?
I couldn't care less what they get. Because it's the Patriots.
Yeah, I got it.
They've had the beginning, middle, final chapter, encore, double encore, whatever. They had everything for the last 20 years. They need a perfect ending too.
Yes, I think it's unfair to the club. I think
fair to them, really.
I do. I believe it's unfair because let's be honest. Those two guys should have walked off the field together. 20 years of huge success. They really should have walked off together. Honestly. Spoke like a true Jet fan. We'll move on. But let me ask you this. So let's take it from the top. Can the Kansas City Chiefs repeat? Nobody has repeated in a long time. Only the Patriots have pulled that off. Most teams, once they win, they usually take a big drop off the next year. Jeff, can the Kansas City Chiefs be the team that repeats?
They could. They're very possible that they could, especially now at this point in the time, because these other teams haven't had the benefit of warming up at all. And like we said, that this is a team that has been established. I actually read something about, I don't know if you've seen the article on ESPN about who the MVP could be. And somebody has already anointed Patrick Mahomes as a Hall of Fame quarterback with what he's done in 2 years.
Yeah, no.
Been in the league for 3 years, played for 2, won Super Bowl, threw for almost 55 touchdowns or 52 touchdowns.
Yeah, something like that.
And they're like, he already has what it takes to be in the Hall of Fame. And I'm like, what has he done? He's played for 2 years. Who gets in the Hall of Fame after 2 years?
Yeah, that's silly. That's just silly. I mean, listen, I think Patrick Mahomes is probably the best quarterback in football right now, talent-wise. I mean, the kid's got a great arm. What if he goes out this year and his team goes 7-9 and he throws for 3,300 yards? What if he slips? I mean, that's impossible to say. I mean, listen, there's a couple guys playing, maybe one guy playing now who we can say is a Hall of Fame player. I'd have to think about that. Patrick Mahomes is his trajectory headed that way? Yes. Is he there? No, not even close.
I mean, listen, look at Dan Marino. Dan Marino went to one Super Bowl, never went back to another one, and ended up making the Hall of Fame. Patrick Mahomes won one Super Bowl, and this one reporter is already anointing him a Hall of Fame candidate. What about Trent Dilfer? He won a Super Bowl.
Sure.
Does he get into the Hall of Fame too?
Yeah. Again, I'm impressed with what Mahomes has done in a short amount of time. But I'm not putting him in. I'm certainly not putting him in the Hall of Fame. But So Jeff, I think we both agree that Chiefs probably are, in my opinion, the favorite to win the Super Bowl this year. I don't know about you.
I'd have to say, yeah, I believe that they are.
Okay. So here's the big question I'm going to add. Here's the next question I'm going to ask. I don't say it's big. Can the 49ers beat the trend of the last few Super Bowl losers who not only lost a game, but basically their franchise went in the tank? If you take the Panthers, if you take the Falcons, if you take the Rams, all lost Super Bowls and almost have never been heard from again.
Well,
the 49ers changed that.
That division in the last 10 years or so, every single team from that division has gone to the Super Bowl at least once.
Okay.
So I would say that there's a good chance that the 49ers could get back to the Super Bowl. Real quick, the Cardinals seem to have rebuilt and are in the process of rebuilding and heading in the right direction.
Yep.
The Rams, who are either Super Bowl contenders or contenders for the number one pick, are just a team that there is no in between. They're either high or low. You know what I mean? The 49ers with Russell Wilson, even in the times when they weren't exactly the greatest team in the league, they were always a good team.
Right.
But this 49ers team seems to have a strong defense, seems to have some players in place, but also seems to have a big question about their quarterback.
Yeah, surprisingly, Jeff.
Last week when we talked about this, and I was really like, after you spoke and I thought about it, I was like, maybe Garoppolo isn't as good as they make him seem to be. But I got to be honest with you. I think that the NFC West is not done churning out Super Bowl teams.
Oh, no, I don't think that at all. I think Seattle may be a strong team this year. A lot of people are high up on Arizona this year.
I don't see as far as a Super Bowl contender. I don't see that.
No, but I'm not a big believer in the 49ers. I wasn't last year, and I'm certainly not right now.
Last year, look where they ended up.
I get it.
Super Bowl.
No, I got it. I wasn't a huge fan, but they made it, and rightfully so. They played great football all that whole year, so I'm okay with all of that. The one team I think has got no shot this year is the Rams. That's the one team I'm not paying attention to.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on with the Rams. I really don't, and it's going to be interesting to see. A big thing to me about the Rams is to see exactly how Todd Gurley plays. If Todd Gurley plays lights out down at Atlanta, then you may see that that the Rams are not going to be good at all. If Gurley has a okay to decent season, then I could see that the Rams maybe they cut their losses at the right time and maybe they're heading in the right direction.
Right.
And because they knew when to separate themselves from a player that could end up costing them money. But it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I thought the Rams made a good move. I got to be honest with you. I thought ever since right before the Super Bowl, Todd Gurley has not been the same player. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if there was injuries involved, but Todd Gurley fell off the face of the earth right before the Super Bowl.
You got to think too. Todd Gurley disappeared, pretty much completely disappeared, but Atlanta had to have him come in for a physical before that trade was made.
Oh, sure. No, absolutely.
And everything else and be happy and satisfied with but then again, I don't remember when that trade was executed. Was it actually done and complete before the pandemic hit?
Ooh, I want to say the answer to that is yes, but I'd have to go back and double check. But I think that was done before the pandemic because he got all cleared and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I would imagine that, a guy like that, you're not just going to say, okay, yeah, we'll take him. Knowing, like you said, because it wasn't, he didn't play in the Super Bowl, but the next year he came back and he ran for 1,500 yards. The guy, like you said, he was a shell of himself, and there's a reason why. Something happened. What was it?
Yeah, I agree. And guys, Hard Rocket Sports, we're here, 347-826-9934. We're going to do one more topic here, and then we're going to make our phone call. So if you're out there and you want to be part of it, you're more than welcome to call in, listen in, be part of it. You can do it. But Jeff's about to call the commissioner of football.
I'm excited about this, man.
and giving a piece of his mind. But last one, Jeff, before we get to that, is Lamar Jackson the next elite quarterback or the next Colin Kaepernick?
Oh, wow. Tom, it was hard. I need to see this season before I can really honestly answer that. And the reason I say that is because his first year when he was a starter, when Flacco got hurt, I remember watching him throw a ball against the Chargers.
That's in the playoffs.
A wiffle ball football, the way it was like floated and flooded. And then when the following year, his team goes 14-2. The guy's running all over the fucking place. I'm not into the idea of having a quarterback that's a runner like that.
I agree.
For a lot of reasons and most obvious knee injuries and stuff like that. But the guy seems to be able to dodge that. He's a special player. But is he this generation's Michael Vick? We've seen this play happen before.
Yeah.
Is he Kaepernick? No, he's better than Colin Kaepernick. He's a lot better than Colin Kaepernick. It's just a matter of, has he reached his ceiling yet? If he hasn't, could he be better than Michael Vick? I think there's a possibility he can. This season speaks volumes. Did he peak last year and people are going to adjust to his game this year? That's a possibility too. But if he rebounds, there could be no stopping this guy, man. It really could. We could have Peyton and Brady all over again, but only as Mahomes and this kid, could be great. Could be good stuff for years.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that, Jeff. So I think it's time to make our phone call, Jeff. I think it's time for you to call the commissioner. Now, I'm going to just put a couple of ideas in your head. How do you want to handle this? Do you want me to dial the number and then say, hey, this is the Hard Rocket Sports Show? Or do you want to just jump right in? How do you want to do it?
I'll dial it right from my phone.
No, I'm going to put us right on the air with it. I can put it right on the air.
Go ahead, man. Do it.
I'm going to do it right on the air. So I'm just going to do. So for everybody out there, you can call to yourself. It's a 212 number. 450-2000, I believe, is the number. I'm just 450-2000, 450-2000. Now, Jeff, when the phone answers, how do you want to handle? You're gonna take it from here?
Yeah.
You got it. Hang on. Here it comes now. I shared it in. Let me know if you hear the dial tone.
Yes.
You have reached the office of the National Football League. We appreciate your call. Unfortunately, all our lines are tied up at the moment. You can either leave a voicemail or call back later. Thank you.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
To whom it may concern, my name is Jeff Tarwinski. I am a fan of the New York Jets of the National Football League. I am disgusted by the way the NFL has cowered and catered to everybody that has a complaint under the sun. I'm disgusted to see you trying to change the names of teams, mainly the Washington Redskins. I'm disgusted about how Black Lives Matter and players being able to kneel for the flag and discuss it's disgusting. The disregard for our country, where these millionaires are getting to play a kid's game that's played in a schoolyard, is played and broadcast on football channels throughout the world, and the money that's being made and the political bullshit that's being sucked into the game, taking everything out of it. It's not right to the regular fans such as myself and millions of others like me that used to enjoy a football game on a Sunday. We are please asking you to leave the political bullshit out of it and concentrate on the game of football. You're a football league with football teams, with football players, not politicians. Please disregard all of these political causes and get back to what you do best, which is play football. And let the Washington Redskins be known as the Washington Redskins. Long live the Redskins. That is it. Done.
Okay, Jeff, I thought that was eloquent. I thought that was great. I thought that was really good. I thought that was great.
Thank you.
All right, so I mean that was the NFL. I don't know if it'll get us anywhere, but we did it, guys. Guys out there, the number is 212-450-2000. 2000. I'm going to put it up on the thing right now.
Go ahead, man. Your turn. Let's. We got to do this together.
NFL. Hold on. NFL offices. Just putting the phone number up on the screen for everybody. 212-450-. You want me to call back and do the NFL as well?
Yeah, man. Yeah, you have to. You have no choice, bro.
Here we go. We're going to do that again. So we're still shared in.
As well? Yeah, man. Yeah, you have to.
And we're going to dial it.
You have reached the offices of the National Football League. We appreciate your call. Unfortunately, all our lines are tied up at the moment. You can either leave a voicemail or call back later. Thank you.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hi, this is Tom Florio from the Hard Rock and Sports Show, along with my partner, Jeff. We are on the air live, and we want to invite somebody from the NFL onto our show to talk about what's happening and what we feel, and not just us, all the people who listen to our show, many people on our social media who are discouraged and displeased by the inclusion of social messaging and politics into our game. And it's our game. We fund it. We pay for it. So we'd love to have somebody come on and explain to us why this is happening. And you can reach out to me through my email, tmaster218@aol.com, or you can call me, 917-353-0911. We'd love to invite somebody on. But the feeling throughout our show and on our social media, people are tired. And we're tired of being bombarded with social messaging and politics. Sports needs to be the one place we can go and hide from all of it. It's all over TV, print, satellite, radio, you name it, and it's all day long, and we don't want it. We want football without the politics. Okay? You want to have rallies, and if people want to go to them, but we're asking for football to be left alone. So, again, we'd love to have you somebody on the Hard Rock and Sports Show. Please give us a call back, and we can schedule that. Have a great day. Okay, Jeff, we've both left our message for the NFL.
You know what? A drop in the bucket, Tom. That's all it is. But we can honestly say that we went to where it's coming from and voiced our displeasure. Now, whether that messages are even heard,
no,
whether those messages are even considered, that doesn't really matter.
Nope.
I know that when I go to bed tonight, I spoke my mind to the NFL.
Yeah, and guys, listen, I've written emails to Roger Goodell, to John Mara from the Giants. I will continue to do so almost daily to let them know how displeased I am. I've invited both on the show, and I've gotten no response. And like Tony said, yes, they'll never respond. They're a bunch of cowards, and they don't want to come on our show, or you won't see them on Fox explaining this. And listen, the NFL, Jeff, to me, could be signing their own death warrant to a certain extent. I think there are a lot of people out there, and I'm telling you, based on my social media, who just are fed up with sports and the shut up and sing. We don't want to hear it. We want to just watch our sport. Jeff, I want to fight with you over Jets and Giants and Dave Gettleman. I don't want to fight with you over social messaging.
Listen, me and you will never fight over anything other than Dave Gettleman. You know why? Because it's fucking great. That's why.
Yes.
Also, we are both on the same team as far as social messaging goes for and everything else. Because I hear the things that you say in your opening monologue, and you're right. But here's my difference. This is where I stand, okay? Sure. Fuck Black Lives Matter. And I'll tell you why I say that. Because you want to be respected. Respect is earned. You come in your daily life. You do the right thing by your fellow man. You do the right thing in society. You work. You go home. You treat your wife and your kids good. You treat your friends and your family good. You put in an honest day's effort at work, and you keep your nose clean. Okay, it doesn't really matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what religion you are. You just do the right thing, and that's how you get respect and how you earn it. Black Lives Matter. You're pushing the respect that you want down everybody's throat, and you're using it to as a mask for something else. You don't want the respect that you say to you. That's not what you're going after. It's I refuse to believe that. Some of them are, but not all of them. Most of them are not. And it's a shame. And if you want respect that way, and because now there's going to be a message on a pitcher's mound, or maybe on the back of a baseball player's uniform, or a football player's helmet, or basketball player's sneakers, maybe around the goalposts of a hockey player a game, what difference does it make? Because now you're thrusting the black race and black lives up above everybody else. Just how you said that white people had white privilege, now you're making it black privilege, and it's not right. Okay, stop assigning colors and nationalities and creeds to everything, and just say man, woman, child. That's how you get respect. Okay, that's how. That's the only way to do it. It's the only way to do it.
Well, here's what I'll say, Jeff. It's funny to me, and again, I want to get back to football, but it's funny to me that the NFL would support an organization, and they've never come out and said we don't support Black Lives out of the organization. We only the theory. They haven't said it one way or the other. An organization that has basically come out and said we are ready to arm ourselves and burn down the country. So I just don't get how sports are backing an organization that is bordering on the terrorist theory here. So I'm surprised. I know it's pandering. I get all of that. The NBA, I don't even bring up the NBA because the NBA is against all of this and all that. Yet the NBA is partners with China, who are enslaving thousands of people right now, but they turn the blind eye to that. So I'm just fed up with the hypocrisy of it. I'm fed up with the politics of it. I love politics now. I'm involved in it every day. But I don't want it in sports, and that's the big theme I have.
Because Tom, unfortunately, with the money that's involved in all of this, okay, maybe up to billions of dollars, that's could end up being the final result. People, sponsors walking away, the TV rights, merchandise rights, everything.
Yeah, listen. But that's why I have to hit him, Jeff.
Coming to appealing to demographics now, not appealing to a fan base, but to demographics.
Yeah,
and it's a shame. Like I said, I have no problem with people being respected for what they do, not because they burst onto the scene and they demand the respect from others. It's not the way it's given. It's just not the way.
No, I agree. And again, they're strong arming it, and it's not. Well, listen, here's the only thing. And Tony Gunn and a lot of people, and Louis said, hey, call the NFL office twice. Once he cursed him in English and once in Italian. So there you go, Louis. And Tony Gunn's right. It's all about money. I get it. So here's what we have to do. A couple weeks ago, they had this thing, Jeff. I don't know if you much paid attention to it. Was the president or CEO of Goya went to the White House, which he did for Barack Obama, and he came out and said, hey, the president's doing a good job. He's done a good job so far for a Hispanic community. And all of a sudden, there were big call-outs for bans on Goya products. Well, for myself and a whole bunch of people on my social media, we ran out and we bought Goya products. I do it every time now. Now, when I go to the store, if I got to buy beans, it's Goya beans. If I got to buy oil, it's Goya oil. And I was supported because the Democrats tell me I can't.
Are you buying pineapple soda, coconut flavored soda? Why not?
No, because I don't drink soda.
You stand with your Spanish brothers.
I am. I have a closet full of Goya products. Just
don't worry about the beans. Anybody could buy beans.
Okay. That's easy.
I want you to go hard. I want you to go get the big candles with Jesus on them.
Okay.
I want you to get the pineapple soda. I want you to go get the fucking 3-foot long Italian ice things that are that fat. You know the ones I'm talking about.
I do.
Bodegas in the special neighborhoods.
Listen, next week on the show, they'll be right here on the desk for you.
And one other thing that you have to do. I want you, if you're so into this.
I am.
Okay, I'm gonna throw down a challenge to you now.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, I'm sure that there's landscapers out there in New Jersey, beautiful New Jersey. I want you to find one of those landscapers.
Yeah,
specifically one named Jorge.
Okay.
You invite him into your home for a sleepover from the show, the end of the show next week till Monday morning. And I
for
get a
the weekend.
of him eating Goya and drinking some fucking coconut soda and shit like that. That's when I, especially, what is that blue soda? Agave soda or whatever?
Yes.
That's what I want to see.
If I can find Jorge floating around, I'll invite him to come over. But again, guys,
And he has to have more than one pair of pants.
If we're still on the air after tonight's show, I'll try to have Jorge on with us next week here at Hard Rock and Sports, 347-826-9934. You can call up if you want to get on the air with us and on the radio side. If you don't, you can keep listening on here and throw your messages up on the screen for Jeff and I. Just remember next week, John Marhefka from RFL Records will stop by and talk a little football with us. And they got a big thing coming up in August, and John wanted to come on and promote it. So, of course, I let my good buddy John Marhefka come on. And
90 seconds.
I think Ted Wilson from Black Sasquatch might stop by for 5 minutes to talk about a big event for them. So lots of stuff coming up next week. Jeff, let's get back to some football talk. Let's talk Jets and Giants. Time to break down our two teams.
There we go.
So I'm going to do the Jets first, and we're going to keep it again. We're at 8:30 already. We still got a lot to get to.
This ought to be a good solid 30 seconds.
Let's talk about the Jets. I mean, the Jets were a tale of two teams last year. You know, I think it was 1-8 in the first half and 6-1 in the second half, or something to that effect. You know, the Jets have had an interesting offseason. I think the biggest problem for the Jets has been the negative part. Their best player, a guy I think is a bit overrated. I think he's a great player, don't get me wrong, but I think his value is a bit overstated to a certain extent. But Jamal Adams is doing his best. And today, I don't know if you saw it, but he was kind of blasting the former team owner, now current ambassador to England, Woody Johnson. I think he's trying to force his way off the Jets. Jeff, can the Jets live the rest of the year with Jamal Adams on their team without signing him to a long-term deal? Or do they have to trade him?
He's certainly not making it easy. I saw some of the stuff that he said about Woody Johnson.
Yep.
Is he the Jets' best player? Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
and,
I would agree with that.
I thoroughly believe that the Jets are a better team with him on it. He's proven to be probably the best safety over the last 2 or 3 seasons, and the Jets definitely need him. But I think that relationship is done, and he's going to be a distraction. But if you don't pay attention to him, what could he do? This is going to be a kind of a special year, so he might as well have a little comedy element to it too. But he's got to understand, and this is where the NFL needs to step up somehow, some way. And you know what? You signed a contract. You got to live up to the contract. I can't believe what they do. Maybe make it that it's only a 3-year contract from now on, you know, max or something. You know, but
I'm sure the owners don't want to give up. I mean, don't forget the owners. You get through less than a first-round pick. You get to go, I think, to the 5th year, and then you got at least one franchise tag on them. So you're really controlling the guy for the first 6 years, 5 to 6 years of their career. Why would you want to give up that?
Well, you can't have this guy telling you what he wants and
I agree with that.
Stupid shit like this. It's one thing to want an extension and to make more money and be the highest paid player at your position, and then it's just complete stupidity to come on and say some of the things that he said.
Yeah,
he
wants out.
Well, listen, that's all well and good. The next team that you're going to is going to see this. Well, they're going to know that you're a dickhead, and they're not going to want to be. They're not going to want you. So maybe you're talking yourself out of going to certain places.
Well, if you look at the Jets, well, he's given a list of teams he wants to go play for, and they're all surprise. They're all playoff caliber teams. If I were the Jets and going to trade him, I would trade him to like Siberia. Whatever. What's the site? What's Siberia? I would take him to Jacksonville, or one of those teams where you just got no chance to do anything. Trade him to Detroit.
Yeah, listen, I like how he was to give up a list of where he would like to go, and like you're right, you said all playoff contenders. So, like right then and there, I'd be like, well, these are 7 teams. You might as well throw this shit out the window. Because if I trade you, you're going to where it gives me the better deal. And if I was Joe Douglas, I would turn around and I would hold a press conference and I would say that. And I would be like, just want everybody to know, yes, we did get his preference of teams to go to, but we are operating a football team here. We're not trying to send you to the best party that's happening this weekend. So if we do indeed trade Jamal Adams, we're going to trade him to where we feel as though we're getting the best deal, whether that's players, draft picks, money, whatever. We have to do what makes our team better. That's why we make trades. If not, he can sit there, he could pout, he could be mad all he wants. Doesn't matter. We're going to sign you to the franchise tag too, buddy. So the more you're going to act up, the more you're going to be here. So the choice is yours. Buckle down, or you're going to be a Jet forever. You're going to bleed green.
Jeff, one of Joe Flynn's listening, and he's at a restaurant called Reggiano's. I don't know where that is, but he's listening to us from Reggiano's. So I said, Joe, very cool, thank you. And I wrote, and another one, have a cold one for us. And YouTube, because the show is shown on YouTube and on Facebook, YouTube rejected your comment. This usually means they think it's spam. Try changing it a bit. So YouTube has rejected my have a cold one for us.
Oh, because you're promoting.
I have no idea.
Wait a minute. YouTube rejected your comment?
Yes, YouTube rejected my comment saying it's they think it's spam. I don't know, but.
Okay.
I don't get it. But yes, Joe, have 2 for the both of you. Thank you very much. But so Jeff, getting back to the Jets.
Real quick to Joe Flynn. Joe Flynn, listen, man, you got to calm down a little bit, dude. Don't take all of this stuff. Me and Joe Flynn had a little side chat the other day. Something got under Joe's skin, and I can't say that I blame him. But, Joe, things will calm down, and things will get back to somewhat normal as whatever this new normal may be soon. Hopefully it'll get back to the way it was. Just relax, man. It's all going to work out for the better. You'll see, man. Sir Jeff, I don't know about that. You know what somebody called me the other day?
What?
I saw 2 guys.
You like this one? This is my favorite one now.
What's that? Jimmy the Greek. Well, I had this kid on my crew last year. And I was at work the other day and I saw him and we bumped into one another in the store and he called me Papa Jeff.
Papa Jeff. Oh,
yeah, because I was like a father figure to him.
Oh, okay.
That was good or bad.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I'm not sure to take that one.
I don't remember being locked in any dark places with him, so I don't think we touched. But yeah, he was like, Papa Jeff, I miss you.
Let's get back to some football here. Jeff, so, beside, I'm going to ask you 2 Sam Darnold questions. One, is this a make or break year for Sam Darnold? Will the Jets, could the Jets possibly be in the running for a new quarterback after the season?
Yes.
Or does he have a leash still?
Yes. Yeah. It's a big year for Sam Darnold. Big year for him. And yes, next year at this time, we very well may be talking about a new Jet quarterback. If things don't work out, you may see a whole new Jet team next year. New coach. Who knows? The only one that I personally think is safe is Joe Douglas.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree. I think Joe Douglas, you can't count last year. To me, this is Joe Douglas's first year.
Well, I think he has somewhat of a plan, and I think I think what he did with the offensive line shows that he has a plan, and I believe that they're going to let this plan unfold a little bit. I think this team is going to be the better for Joe Douglas.
Yeah,
being there. I'm not saying that they're going to the Super Bowl or whatever anytime soon. But I think that he's going to definitely launch them into the right direction.
Well, saying that though, but does here's the one thing I'll say: has Joe Douglas given Sam Darnold enough weapons this year?
He's given him more. Well, actually, what he has given him is not more weapons, really. He's got 2 new receivers, but he's got an offensive line. Depending on how that offensive line works, me or you could end up being considered a weapon for Sam Darnold if they give him enough time. So let's see what happens if that offensive line gels and they develop a running game and Le'Veon Bell is 3/4 of the player that he once was, I think that the Jets will be definitely a better team, a different team offensively. And if that kid Denzel Mims, I believe his name was, if he shows something and he's the real deal, there's a good chance for the Jets. It really is. A better chance, I should say. Not a good chance, a better chance.
Yeah, I mean, I think the pickup of Perriman, Brashad Perriman, was a good move. Vincent Smith's back. They took a flyer on Josh Doxson, the tight end. I think it's a tight end. And you're right, Denzel Mims from Baylor. Again, listen, I think the Jets have a shot to be in the running for that division. I think that division is going to be a 10-win team. I think there's a lot of teams that'll be in the running.
I'll say this much. If the Jets somehow, some way make it to the Super Bowl next year, it's gonna be because they won that division, not because they won a wild card.
Okay, I would agree with that. I won't argue that point. I think they need to win the division. This is John Flynn with Joe at the restaurant. We're drinking for you guys. Thank you, John Flynn. I appreciate that. Joe Flynn said to tell you love your brother. So I don't know if you've seen the comments, but Joe's up there. Louis
I'm not, because I'm looking. I got to go grab a drink. I'll be right back.
Yeah, guys, and we're talking football again. I think the Jets are in a flux team in that division. I think that's one of the most up in the air divisions in all of football at this moment. People are counting on the Bills to be better and win the division. People are probably counting out the Patriots. What are the Miami Dolphins? I mean, the Dolphins played better, but they still weren't a great team last year, but they were better, and they've gone all in. 12 draft picks. They went out and signed a whole bunch of players. We'll get to them as we get to the NFC East, the AFC East in our next segment. But the AFC East is a very odd division for me this year, and I can't. With no off season, guys, it makes it very difficult to break down what you're going to see this year, because you didn't see OTAs, you didn't see mini camps, you're not going to see preseason games. So this year, to me, is a surprise, and I don't even think the first month of the season is really going to tell who's who out there. So I'm telling you, this is going to be Louis. I get it, guys. We'll talk more about that in a minute, but trying to get past all the social justicing and the politics of it all. The AFC East is a division I can't figure out at this point. Who knows what the Patriots are going to be? Can the Bills take another step forward? If they do, they're probably the best team in that division. Where are the Miami Dolphins? Where are the Jets? I mean, this is a really big year, Jeff, for the AFC East.
Yes, it is, but I think it's a little bit more clear cut than you realize. I
think so. I don't see it. Go ahead.
I think the Buffalo Bills. I think it's going to be Buffalo, New England, Jets, Miami. Okay, here's my look on things. I think Buffalo is the default team in that division.
Okay,
you're going to have the Patriots just because of the experience factor, because they're the Patriots, and because of Bill Belichick. They can't finish third or fourth. Just can't happen. The Jets, I think that offensive line, like I said, and the addition of those two new receivers are going to help. The Jamal Adams bullshit is not helping. So I definitely can't see the Jets really, stay behind them and say that they're going to win. But Miami, they're going to make a quarterback change sometime this season. Is Tua ready for that? Is Tua healthy enough for that? Is Fitzpatrick going to put them in a position where maybe they're 4-0 or 0-4 before a change is even starting to be talked about? If they're 4-0, do you change over to Tua? If they're 0-4,
I think they should just start with Tua. This is not a team that's on the brink of a playoffs, Jeff. I would play Tua.
The only reason I don't think that they're going to be playing Tua right away is because of that hip. I think they're going to need to bring him along slowly. Without a preseason game, would he have played in the preseason, Tom?
Well, that's the question. That's the question for me. Is the only reason I would say that he won't play is because he has not had the offseason to work himself in. So maybe it's easy to start Fitzpatrick. And I agree with John Flynn. I think Buffalo is going to be – I don't think they're a surprise, though, John. I think you're a little off on that one. I think Buffalo I think a lot of people think Buffalo going to win. Louis Pica right above you is saying it. I think Buffalo is the trendy team that everybody wants to. I'm just not going to count out the Patriots with Bill Belichick until I see it.
Well, I just don't think it's not so much that I'm counting them out.
Yep.
Okay. I just don't think that they have it with their current quarterback situation to win the division. I just don't see it. I could see them winning a wild card. I could see them finish second in place in that division. The only other team I could see winning that division is the Buffalo Bills. I don't see Miami doing it. And I would give the Jets a very, very small chance of winning that division. Extremely small.
Yeah, the Jets would have to. I mean, I think defensively the Jets will be okay. Again, I think defense is going to dominate, especially early on.
You can't try to win every game 10-7, though, Tom.
No, I agree with that. But I think you're going to get a lot of that early, Jeff. I think a lot of teams are going to struggle offensively. So I think you're going to get a little bit of that. But I think the Jets, if Bell runs, I like the addition of Gore. I think Gore coming on that team is a good move, but it's going to come down to this. Can Darnold stay healthy, and is the offensive line better than last year? I can't answer either one. So we'll see.
No.
We'll get to our predictions on the Jets season. You know what? Let me think about that for a second. Do I want to let's pop up the Jets. I'm going to give you that schedule, Jeff. I want you to go off. I'm going to just for fun, real quick. Let's go through the Jets schedule for the year, and you can give me your prediction. You ready?
Go ahead.
All right, week number 1, Jets at Buffalo, win or loss?
Loss.
Week 2 at home to Frisco.
Loss.
Week 3 in Indianapolis.
Week 3 in Indianapolis.
Yes.
That could be a win.
Okay, week 4 at home to Denver.
Win.
Okay, week 5 you're still home to the Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Okay. Week 6 you're going out to LA and you're playing the Chargers. Hold on.
Chargers.
Okay. Let's see. It's a loss. Week 7 is you're home to Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Week 7 you're traveling to Kansas City. All right.
Mahomes throws for 900 yards, 17 touchdowns, and runs for another 6 scores. They take him out at the end of the first quarter.
Week 9, you're you're home to New England.
I'm going to say that's a win.
Wow. Okay. Week 10, you're in Miami.
Win.
Week 12, back-to-back. This is an odd one. It is split up by the bye week, but you're playing Miami again, this time at home.
I'm going to give that one to Miami.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's reverse. Okay. You're at Seattle in week 14. Oh, sorry. Hold on. You're home to the Raiders.
I'm going to go with the Jets on that one.
Now you're traveling to Seattle.
Seattle. Which, by the way, real quick, put a pause on that. Speaking of Seattle, Clowney still hasn't been signed yet, has he?
No, he has not. Who wants to spend that money? The guy's been good, but not great. $20 million a year. I'm not signing him. That's going to be a bargain basement thing right before the season.
So it's going to be a 1-year deal before the season. Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Jeff, you're going out to you're playing the Rams in week 15.
That's a tough one. I'm going to say Jets.
Wow. Okay. You're going to be. It says to be determined, so I don't know where they're playing this game, but you're playing Cleveland in week 16.
Cleveland.
Okay. And last but not least, you're at New England to end the season.
New England.
Okay. So Jeff, you're giving the Jets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins. Jets 6-10 according to Jeff.
I just. They got a hard schedule, which is kind of fucked up and everything else. A lot of people point to last year, but they had an easier schedule, and I just don't firmly. I don't believe in them. I don't believe in them. I can't. I'm sorry.
Well, listen, it's
been too long. They suck.
Well, let's see. Again, a lot of people will point to the 5 games that they lost while Sam Darnold recovered from mono. Had he been healthy and playing, who knows what would have happened? But the season ended, I think 7-9, if I'm not mistaken, and we'll see how it breaks out. I'm again stuck in the middle on this one. I think the Jets are a better team than last year, but I don't know if they'll be much better record-wise. So we'll see what happens. We'll get to more of that later. Let's switch over to my beloved New York Football Giants.
Oh, there we go.
The Giants. Now, I've already predicted them to win 10 games this year. I think the Giants will win 10 games. Jeff thinks I'm obviously crazy, and that's fine. But let's break it down a little bit.
How are they going to win 10 games?
We got Gettleman. Gettleman will lead us.
But they won 3 games last year.
Doesn't matter what they won last year. This is the new year. Now, here's my thing with the Giants. I'm always excited for a Giants season. Okay, I just am. I always have an optimistic view of my team. Do I think they've gotten better in certain? Yeah, I think the offensive line should be better this year. I think Jones will be better.
Now,
I think Saquon healthy is better.
Quick question: you're bringing things up and you're rushing along so that nobody could rebut your statements.
Yeah.
You have Nate Solder, which is on his 3rd year with the Giants. 2
Yes.
subpar years before this. How is that offensive line better just because they drafted a rookie? His a potential replacement.
Yeah.
Now you're saying Nate Solder is not the answer. Do they move this rookie to left tackle?
No.
Does Solder get cut? What?
No, Solder starts the season off. I don't know if he finishes. I think he does. I think Nate Solder will play better. I don't think it's going to be good enough, but I think he will be better than he was last year. I don't know what the problem was. I like the rookie. He's a rookie playing right tackle. Who knows? But I think both guards are. I think Hernandez is better. Zeitler is a good player. I got the guard. Key's going to be the center. I think the offline will be better. I think Jones will be better, and I think Saquon's healthy, and 2,000 all-purpose yards is not out of the question.
Jones better.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Listen. If you look at the kid, had a good year last year.
Oh, stop, Tom. The guy was fucking. The team was. What was their record last year?
It doesn't matter. How many games did they lose at the end?
I want to know what their record was last year. That was my question.
4-12, Jeff. 4-12.
Okay, you ask a Giant fan what their record was last year. What is the first thing they say? Well, we almost won 12 games by 1 point. No,
it's not true.
Your own iconic coach said you are what your record says you are. They were a 4-12 team. Okay, they had Eli in there, and then they started Jones. Jones is not the answer. I'm telling you, this is going to be Daniel Jones last year with the Giants. Next year, the Giants are definitely looking for a new quarterback.
Oh my God, you really are smart. I think when you go to the bathroom, you're snorting crack. I really believe that's what you're doing back there.
Believe me, if I was snorting crack, the last thing I would do is come back and argue about the fucking Giants. I would have stayed in the bathroom.
I will tell you flat out, Daniel Jones threw for 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions as a rookie, played hurt, okay? Mm-hmm. I think Daniel Jones will be better this year. I'm going to tell you that I think
he can't get much worse, Tom.
That's not what's wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that season. 12 games, he threw for 3,000 yards.
Stop. I don't know what you're reading. I don't know what you're looking up at. I have no idea. Everybody else is saying that the kid is too turnover prone.
You fix all that.
Yeah, I know he fixed it. Okay.
It's going to be fixed. Okay. You watch.
Go ahead. Yeah, you're right. It's all fixed.
As a Giant fan, I only concern right now offensively is health. Evan Ingram is their one real. Although I like Slayton, I think Slayton could get down the field a little bit, but they don't have that true burner. And Evan Ingram has got to stay healthy. Same with Saquon. I do like the fact that they picked up Dion Lewis. I think that was a great pickup, a good veteran guy. So I think offensively he's got plenty of weapons. I love the receiving core. I know there's not a true number one guy there, but with Tate and Shepard, I think those are two really solid players.
Tate, I'm going to tell you right now, Tate, he's okay, but he's going to be 32. Okay, Shepard, didn't he get like 2 concussions last year? 3 concussions?
At least two, yeah.
That's get out of there, you Sorry, my on-screen partner Basil is back.
Basil.
Here to play. Unfortunately.
Uh-huh.
Who was it? Who were we just talking about?
Daniel Jones, Jeff. Oh, Shepard. No, Shepard. You were talking about.
Shepard. You know, is he back from all his concussions? He missed time due to injury and everything else.
He's ready to play.
And you give up Odell Beckham, and it made him your number one. I just don't understand that.
Well, again, I think Odell was a cultural thing. Now, again, I think there's a couple things I always point to for Gettleman that I can't go out and defend on. One is the Leonard Williams trade, which made no sense to me. It still doesn't. The other thing is Odell.
When you start talking about that,
I know. Go fuck yourself. And the other thing is the Odell. You know, again.
Wait, you don't understand that trade? Is that what you're saying?
The Leonard Williams trade?
No. The Odell Beckham trade.
No, I don't understand how you would sign him to that deal and then trade him.
Okay, I'll explain why.
Why?
Because Dave Gettleman is one of the worst general managers in the NFL right now.
There you go. I should never played along with that one. I'm sorry.
Case in point.
Yeah, go ahead.
We say it every week. I manage to bring it up somehow, some way.
Yeah,
You're fucking rebuilding your team. You trade away 2 draft picks for a player that was going to be a free agent. That's one thing.
Yep.
Then you turn around and now you have to sign this player.
Yep.
Who now is in no rush at all to sign any kind of deal. And says, I'll sign the franchise tag, because if he didn't, he wasn't going to make that kind of money unless he signed a 3-year deal. And you know that.
That's very true. I listen, I will be the first to tell you that I did not think he handled the whole Leonard Williams thing well at all. Listen, there's a couple, there's a knock or two. I'll give it that. That's one of them.
The Odell Beckham trade, which I personally don't think it was a good trade when you had a rookie quarterback, or you were going to stick with the veteran, which was Eli, and you thought that you still had a chance. I just don't see the point of trading Odell Beckham like you did. But you did bring up a point, which was you signed him to a big deal.
Yeah.
You signed him to a deal, and it's just like, what are you thinking about? I think Dave Gettleman has hurt this team more than he's helped this team in the last couple of years.
I disagree. I think he's done. I think his drafts have been good. I'm not sure about his free agent moves so far, but I think he's done a good job. And I think this team's trending in the right place. Again, here's the problem. New coaching staff. Basically, your sophomore quarterback, your star running back coming back from injury. It would have been great to have an offseason this year, but we're not going to get one. So that's the problem I have with the Giants. I'm still going to pick them to win 10 games because I already did it, so I'm not going to go back on it.
Let's talk about their defensive line, huh?
Good. I think that's their biggest strength.
Who's on that defensive line?
Well, let's
name some people.
You got Dexter Lawrence. So it was last year's number 1 pick. Yeah. You got Dalvin Tomlinson. I think it was either a 1 or a 2 years ago. Yeah. B.J. Hill, Leonard Williams.
That's the guy right there. Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams. How many career sacks does he have?
12, Jeff. 12.
And what is he? Isn't he like in his 14th year?
No, Jeff. He's in his 5th year.
No, it can't be.
Yes.
It's got to be 6.
He's in his 5th year, and he's in his 5th year.
12 sacks. 12 sacks in his 5th year. So he's averaging like 2.1 something sacks a season.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let me tell you something. That is a fucking steal, bro. What are they paying him? 16 mil?
Yeah, I believe it's 16 and change, almost 17. Yeah.
Wow.
Are you done?
Wow. Do you realize that for $4 million more, you could have Clowney on your team, which is 4 times the player that Leonard Williams ever was?
Are you done? Can we move on to the NFC East now? Can we move on to the NFC?
Who plays in the NFC East?
The Giants.
And you know who plays on the Giants?
Daniel Jones.
Well, and Leonard Williams.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the NFC East a little bit now. I think the NFC East is another anomaly. Last year one of the worst divisions, won by I think a team was 8-8 or 9-7, and down to the last week of the season, Jeff. Let's talk Cowboys. I think the Cowboys potentially have a good team physically. I'm not sure about their receiving core, but still a good offensive line, a pretty good defense.
You're not sure of who's receiving core.
Dallas.
How could you not be sure of their receiving core?
Why would I be? Why would I be? Who's their big guy? Am I still thinking it's Amari Cooper?
It's Amari. They got Cooper. Then they signed. Who's that kid that they drafted? He was what was his name? CeeDee Lamb.
Yes.
Yeah. I think they got a pretty good receiving core.
Well, we're gonna see. I mean, so you got Michael Gallup, Devin Smith, CeeDee Lamb, Cedric Wilson, Amari Cooper, and Ventel Bryant. Again, I'm not breaking my back to run to that as the best receiving core in football. But here's the problem with the Cowboys: new coaching staff, no offseason. Okay, now it might not be a big thing. I get it. Maybe not be a big thing. Dak's contract. How big does that play into this year?
I think it's big, but I got to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it would hurt the Cowboys more, and they better. It's going to hurt the Cowboys more than it'll hurt Dak, because if he has a good year, he's either going to get paid by the Cowboys, or they're not going to be able to sign him to a franchise tag. One way or another, I think next year Dak gets a big deal. It's whether it's from the Cowboys to somebody else.
Yeah, I'm again. I don't think he's in Dallas. I just wonder, a couple of bad games. Does that team fall apart a little bit? That's a big question for me. I'm not all in on it. But here's the problem I have, Jeff. I'm not all in on anybody in the NFC to win that division legitimately. The Eagles. Is Wentz going to stay healthy? Is Wentz going by the wayside of Goff? Is those two guys who many thought were elite quarterbacks, are they falling back? I think that's a question. In Philly, is that team any good? And I'm not buying into either one of those two teams. So that's why I think this whole division is up in the air. I think the one team that can't win is the Redskins.
I think that, I could agree. Well, I think there's two teams that can't win. Redskins is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention the other team, but I will just say that Leonard Williams is not going to have to worry about making arrangements for him much after the last game of the season, maybe other than to clean out his locker. I firmly believe Dallas is the best team in that division.
I'm not going to argue it. I can't. What makes Dallas better than they were last year? I just don't see it. Like, I don't see that they've gotten that much better.
Dallas doesn't have to be better than they were last year. They just got to be better than three teams that are in their division, and they're already better than two of those three teams.
Well, listen, I think the Redskins are the worst team in that division by far. Now, again, Riverboat Ron steps up. They changed the name. Now they're the Washington football team, which I pray to God they go into the season with and live with
the season with that.
Yeah,
the season with that.
Yeah,
they were so quick. They were in such a rush to get rid of the Redskin name that they adopted that name, the Washington football team, which I think is great.
Yeah.
I think is a great name. It just goes to show that, the one thing I'll agree with, what was that guy's name? Kellerman?
Yeah, Max Kellerman.
The one thing I will agree with is that Washington never gave this a fucking second thought.
No.
Well, they never had a backup plan for this.
No.
It just goes to show just how strongly Dan Snyder was telling the truth. That he said that this team will never change its name. It's just, unfortunately, he caved to pressure.
Yeah.
And eventually is going to change the name of the team. So to go into the season, the Washington football team, it's fucking great. It's great.
Listen, I don't know if it's great or not. I'll say, yeah, it is great. I'll change my mind. You know what? It is great. I think basically they nailed it on the head. He never wanted to do this, and the only reason he did was because all these different corporations were bailing out on him. His people who own shares of his team were bailing out on him, and I don't think he had no choice. I think he had no interest in doing it. The guy's a lifelong Redskin fan. He wanted no part of changing the name of the team. And when he did, he had a couple of options. Some other guy has it, probably holding him ransom, trying to get those names, the Warriors or the Red Tails or whatever he decided with. And he said, screw it. You wanted me to change it? It's the Washington football team.
I don't see this happening as being able to be done for this year. It's too late in the offseason. I don't see them being able to think about what you're talking about. In order to change the name, you're going to have to get merchandise ready.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Everything. All
Yeah.
the rights, the licensing rights.
Mhm.
Who knows? Maybe years ago, the team used to own the stadium. I don't know who owns that stadium. And
He does. He's looking for a new stadium back. He wants to move. He wants to move back to DC. Now they're playing in, I think, in Virginia somewhere.
okay,
But they want to move back.
I was just going to bring up when these stadiums say like Pepsi has the rights to own or name the stadium for the next 20 years.
Mhm.
Maybe they have a say in the name of the team that plays there. So you got to take that into consideration too. What sponsors are connected, and I'm sure it's not an easy situation, and it may they may play next year. Who knows with the same name? The Washington.
I hope they do. But on this show, they will Indians to meet with Native Americans on the name. Could you imagine Indians to meet with Native Americans on the name? I mean, why I can't for the life of me figure out why in the Indians' name or the Chiefs' name is derogatory. I can't figure it out, Jeff.
I don't know. I still can't believe I can't. I don't know.
I don't get it, but I think at the end of the day, you may be right. The Cowboys might be the best team in that division, but I think one injury or one little streak, I think, could change that whole division around. So I'm not ready to anoint the Cowboys yet. I think this is weird.
The only change that could happen in that division is that Philadelphia wins it.
Again, I think you're underestimating the Giants a little bit, but yeah, okay, I'll give you that. It's going to be a big turnaround for the Giants to go from 4 wins to 10 wins.
I will tell you what, I will give you my word on something.
Go.
Okay, I will pick the Giants to win the Super Bowl.
The mush.
As soon as they get rid of fucking Dave Gettleman.
Forget about it.
You get rid of Dave Gettleman, Tom, I will back the Giants up for one full season.
Yeah,
I will learn everything. I will learn more about the Giants than you do. Okay, and I will be the biggest Giant fan for 1 year in honor of you. How's that?
Let's go around the league a little bit, Jeff, and have some fun. Is the NFC West the best division in the NFL?
Yes, because the Giants are nowhere near them.
Are we done with that? Are you done? Yes, I think it's tough to
agree with me. Yes, I know.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to say no. I think the NFC South may be the best division at least in the NFC. The Saints, Buccaneers, Falcons, Panthers.
No, definitely not, because the Panthers suck. The Buccaneers they still suck. The Atlanta Falcons sucked. So I don't know why you would even say that. I could see NFC West. I could agree with that they're the best team. All 4 of those teams have been to the Super Bowl. Where did you go?
I'm sorry. I put my paper up on the screen. Sorry.
You were making faces at me, weren't you?
Yeah, I was wishing voodoo on you. The NFC North is a tough division. I don't think the Packers will be better. I think the Bears suck. The Vikings are a middle of the road, and sorry, Joe Flynn, but the Lions suck.
The only thing I like about the NFC North is it's one of the divisions with the most older teams in it, I believe. The Green Bay Packers, Chicago, Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Those are all older NFL teams. So it's kind of like a throwback division.
Yeah.
And there's so much history between those teams in that division. Even with the Vikings to an extent. But I got to be honest. I think it's going to be the Packers or the Vikings in that division this year.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't like what the Packers did with their drafting of a quarterback in round 2 when you still got some good life out of to take a flyer on a guy who's potentially down the road when this team needs weapons or needs help on defense. I think it's a bad move. But are the Bears going to be better now that Nick Foles and Trubisky are having some sort of a quarterback competition? No, I don't. The Lions, I am very surprised that Matt Patricia has not had more success there. I thought he was going to be a better coach. And the Vikings, to me, Cousins says it all. They lost Stephon Diggs. So I'm not buying into that division at all. The South is is a possibility, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Do I have anything else in that division?
The only true strong team in the NFC South to me is the Saints. Nobody else.
I think Tampa's going to be good. I'm sorry. I think Tampa's going to be a couple games better. I think you're right. I think the Saints are the better team. I don't see them winning 13 games.
You don't have to win 13 games. All you got to do is win one more than anybody else.
No, I get it, but I think at the end of the day, I think they could be fighting. Think about it now. It's not 2 easy wins in Tampa this year for them. I'm not buying into the Falcons till I see it, so that's not happening.
I don't think they're worried about.
So right now, Jeff, if you were based on what we've said, you got Dallas, you got Green Bay, you got New Orleans, all winning the division. Who wins in the West?
I'm going to go with Seattle. I think it's going to be Seattle.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people feel the same way as you. Believe me, I've heard
Niners, maybe the Cardinals, and then the Rams.
Okay, let's switch over to the AFC, Jeff.
Okie dokie.
And let me just bring up my handy dandy notes on the AFC East, guys. Make sure you come back next Thursday night when Jeff and I have. Excuse me. We'll make some more phone calls. Maybe now that we have a new trick up our sleeve, we'll make some phone calls and harass other commissioners and a few other sports.
Call a different commissioner every week.
I won't argue with that. And of course, we have John Marhefka from RFL Records and maybe Ted Wilson or Bub from the Black Sasquatch. Let's see here. Where do I want to go with this? Joe Burrows. I know you were a big fan of Joe Burrow last year. He's one of those guys you watched a lot of college football. How big a difference is Joe Burrow making in Cincinnati this year?
I think he gives them hope. He's not going to make that much of a difference. This isn't going to be a team that they will go 1-15 or something like that last year, or 2-14. They're not all of a sudden going to win 6 or 7 games because Joe Burrow has arrived. I think he's going to give that team hope because he's young. He was a great quarterback in college, and he's going to give them something to look forward to, something to build around. He's not going to all of a sudden make this team a contender by himself. It's going to take a couple of years, but it's definitely in the right direction.
That's a tough division, and I don't mean by great play. I can't figure out. You got the Ravens, who were everybody's darling to win the whole thing, and who got knocked out of the playoffs first round last year. The Steelers, who will go as far as Big Ben and his body hold up. And Cleveland, who has been overrated now, and I put them on top of the heap a couple of years back. Jeff, talk to me about that division. I mean, where is it? Is it the Ravens division to win or to lose?
Well, one thing for sure, I just don't see Cincinnati having anything to do with the top of that division this year. I think it's going to be the Ravens, and then it's just going to be a matter, like you said, as far as Pittsburgh goes. Does Roethlisberger, is he going to be able to play? Is he going to be able to play the whole season? They're taking so much time off last year due to injury, hurt him, and maybe throw him off, make him extra rusty.
Yeah.
Do the Browns, do they take a step in the right direction this year, regardless of who's on that team?
Yeah.
It's does that team get this? I mean, they just spent a lot of money on that guy, Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Does this team get dismantled?
Are you surprised by that deal, Jeff? Are you surprised that they gave him that deal after everything he did last year?
Considering the last time he was on the field, he tried to kill somebody with a football helmet. Yeah. I think it's one, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Two, I would have thought that then maybe they would have gone a game or two to see, are you going to be good boy? You're not going to fuck anything up. Did you learn your lesson? Because I know watching the Browns versus the Jets last year, he made a couple questionable tackles against the Jets. I believe he was the one that hurt Trevor Siemian, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Yeah.
So, it's you got to see. Now you're investing a lot of money in him. You're telling him that he's definitely part of the future. And who knows if that's going to be a
I think there's a really good chance.
Is Joe Flynn on crack?
Don't talk about my man Joe. He's on my side.
Oh, look, I like Joe. He's a good kid. But winning the division, who the fuck's winning the division, Joe? Is it the Lions?
I think it's the Lions.
Come on. What the fuck? I know. The Lions need to trade. I'll tell you, this is a trade, Tom. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
The Giants, not the Giants, the Giants make a trade with the Lions.
Uh-huh.
Take Matthew Stafford as a backup, okay, for the Giants.
Okay.
Where the fucking Lions go out and sign Tim Tebow. Okay? And the Lions go and finish like 1-15, where the Giants and Dave Gettleman actually finish -3 and like 16 or 19 actually would be because of the moves that he made.
Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
By Blog Talk Radio.
Yes, Block Talk is signed off. All right, so so that division, I think the biggest thing coming out of that division for me this year, I don't believe in Baker Mayfield and that offense. I think that team implodes. And I think that team gets broken up within the next 2 years.
You're one-sided. I don't like it.
That's okay.
You're totally against.
I'm totally against
Baker
that team.
Mayfield.
I have not seen anything out of Baker Mayfield so far that's makes me go, oh, he's a hell of a player. I just haven't seen it.
I don't know.
I don't see it. So I think Pittsburgh steps up and wins that division this year. I was not a big believer in the Ravens. I think teams are going to catch up to them this year. So I don't believe in the Ravens. I think it's Pittsburgh's division to win. Although they'll definitely lose at least one game opening night to my beloved New York Giants. Where'd Jeff go? Jeff's gone now. Uh-oh. I'm all by myself. I don't know what happened to Jeff. But, all right, we'll keep going. Staying in the NFC North for a minute. Again, I'll stick it out and say Pittsburgh wins that division. But Jeff's back. Let's get him back on. I don't know what happened to you, brother. So
I hit the log in or log out bar. I hit something I wasn't supposed to.
Again, Jeff, I picked the Steelers to win that division. I don't believe in the Ravens. I think the Ravens are overrated. So we'll see. Getting to the NFC South, the AFC South, excuse me. Tennessee, Houston, Indianapolis, Jaguars. The Jaguars are pitiful. We'll need to make some big changes to get.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Indianapolis Colts. Even with this new move, I don't think that Phillip Rivers has enough left in him now to put that team on his back and carry it. The Houston Texans. Yeah.
How about Phillip Rivers never had enough in his tank to do it all the years when he was younger?
I agree.
With the Chargers, what makes you think that he's going to come over here now and do it with Indianapolis? I just don't see it.
No, I agree with you. I'm not buying into it. So Houston, that might be the worst run team. They've had so much talent over there. J.J. Watt, DeAndre Hopkins. I'm not a big Deshaun Watson fan. I don't think he's terrible, but I'm not buying it, Jeff. Tennessee should and probably would win that division, in my opinion. The Texans will stay close.
I don't know. I don't see Tennessee. I think they kind of lucked out last year. I don't see them really, being that strong of a team. I just think that everything aligned for them. I would like to say that the Texans, but every year the Texans always seem to be picked to be near the top of that division, but yet they're just not a complete team, I guess is the best way of saying it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, listen, they traded Clowney away. They traded DeAndre Hopkins away. This is going to be a tough year for Bill O'Brien. I'm surprised he's still there coaching.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
I think he has to make a trip to the Super Bowl to keep his job. I think much less than that, and Bill O'Brien is no longer the coach of the Houston Texans. Tennessee is interesting, Jeff. A lot of quarterbacks running around in the market, and they chose to re-sign Ryan Tannehill. I was a supporter of Tannehill's in Miami, and he fell out of favor with me. I think all the eggs are in one basket. I'm not I'm not sure Ryan Tannehill's the cart you want to hitch your buggy to.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. I don't see him. He didn't do it in Miami.
Yeah.
I don't see him doing it consistently in Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's tough to pick.
The team.
Yeah, it's tough to pick them because I thought that especially through the playoffs, they kind of hit him. He was throwing for 80 yards in the playoffs in the game. I think they played great defense and they ran the ball extremely well. Obviously with Derrick Henry, who signed and coming back. I'm still going to pick them for the division because I just don't like anybody else. But to me, unless he finds a way to put points on the board and take the pressure off Derrick Henry, they're not going to go too far in the playoffs.
Well, I think it's the opposite. I think if Derrick Henry takes some of the workload, he was such a great back in the playoffs last year and in the season for the Titans that he could help them out immensely. That they're not going to have to lean on Tannehill, which makes his job that much easier. The guy wasn't, playing lights out football. He just wasn't making mistakes.
Yeah.
There's a difference in that.
No, you're right. He was managing games at that point. You're 100% right. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Let's shift over to the West, Jeff, the NFC West. Kansas City easily wins the division. I can't see them stumbling this year. The rest of the divisions, here's the tough part. Vegas, now the Vegas Raiders, which I can't wait to get your favorite half man on the show.
Is there any word?
No word on the last I heard them, half man is upstate in Lake George, surfing on a waterbed.
Living or
no, vacationing.
Vacationing.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, the half man is
good for the half man.
Yes.
I'm glad. The half man has had some ups and downs the last couple of weeks. Has he still got his lady friend?
Yes, in fact, I believe he's up there with his lady friend. Yes.
Lady friend. I don't ask for much.
Oh boy, here we go.
I don't ask for much.
You don't need much.
I don't need much, but I don't ask for much. But I'm asking for the half man to impregnate his lady friend. That would be some great stuff.
Nobody wants that, Jeff. Nobody wants to see any of that.
I beg to differ. I want it.
There's one person, and that would be Jeff. Yes. All right. I'll mention to the half man if I ever talk to him again.
No, don't mention to the half man. Just let it happen naturally. Let him mention to you that, hey, guess what? I'm going to be a dad.
Let's get back to Kansas City and Vegas.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
If they ever decided to make a Jackass tribute group, could the half man end up playing the part of Wee Man in Jackass?
The half man, I don't believe the half man has a good enough sense of humor to allow himself to be Wee Man along the way.
But notice you didn't say anything about him being about the height. It was the sense of humor.
Yes, I'm not questioning height. I'm questioning the availability of a sense of humor that would allow him to do that. So I'm not sure we would see that. Guys, you're hanging in with Hard Rocket Sports. Jeff and Tom, we're here every Thursday night, 6 to 9:30 here tonight on the NFL Training Camp Special. Thanks for everybody for hanging in there with us. I know it's been a long day, and we had some fun so far. We actually called Roger Goodell in the NFL, and we both left a message for him. I don't know if we're ever going to hear back, but at least we got something off our chest. And next week it'll be Major League Baseball's turn.
Maybe it was a good thing that you called from over there at your house to see a way. Maybe you should go out in front and look. Maybe the FBI is there now or something. I don't know.
Well, I'm looking out the window, Jeff. The only thing I saw was a lot of rain and some severe thunder. So I would say that they're probably not
thunder and lightning over there.
I didn't say lightning, but there was some serious thunder going off around here about an hour and a half when your cousin was on.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't get any of that.
Yeah, no, we got plenty of it over here, guys. And again, like I said, you can check the show out every week on our Facebook page. Make sure you go to our YouTube page and subscribe so you can catch up all the stuff that goes on. HardRocketSports.com. You can always go to that and check it out, what's coming up. Like I said, we got John Marhefka next week. We're actually off August the 6th. There will be no Hard Rocket Sports show.
Why not?
Unless Jeff wants to do the show himself. I will be away. I am going to the land of milk and honey.
What is it?
Washington, D.C. I'm going to see my boy Donnie Trump.
Really?
I'm going to D.C. on the 6th. It's my 10th wedding anniversary, and we've decided to go down to D.C. for possibly for the night. We'll see how it plays out. We may take the dogs and stay at a dog hotel, but we're going to go walk the streets of of Washington, D.C., and hopefully I get to run into my boy Don Trump.
I don't know if you're just going to bump into him down there,
You never know. We run in a lot of the same circles. Why not? You never know.
All right.
We're going to see, but I will. So
there was no guest on the 6th?
there's no guest on the 6th.
Oh.
I've kept it clear because I wasn't sure what I was going to do yet.
Yeah, no problem. I don't know what I'm going to do now. I guess I'll just sit there and wait for
You can do the show if you want. You can do it all by yourself.
I can't do that, man. If I do that, it's going to be a giant bashing episode.
Yeah, let's not allow you.
Maybe I will do it. Reasons why the Giants are going to suck.
You'll be done in about 3 minutes. You run out of things after 2 or 3 minutes.
Oh, please stop.
But so no show on the 6th, but back on the 13th with Chris Gustafson from the band Trauma. August 20th, we have Ross the Boss coming on video. So Jeff and I are going to invite ourselves over to Ross's establishment.
Yeah, we're going to tell him the night of the video show.
Yep.
He doesn't know that yet, but we're going to make arrangements that night.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to put him on the spot right there.
Pandemic, I don't give a fuck, motherfucker. We're coming.
That's it. So that's the schedule. But go to Hard Rocket Sports. Check us out there. HardRocketSports.com. And check us out there and get all the info for the show. No other guests. I tell you the truth. After that, I have not booked another guest after August 20th. So we'll see how that plays out. But we do have next week. We'll be back with our good friend also, Rafael Esparza from MyBookie.ag. I also think next week.
I want to ask Rafael what the over/under is on Lenny Williams and sack total this year.
Well, he's got plenty of prop bets. He's got some stuff up on coming up on the Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. fight. He's got some stuff coming up for NBA basketball. I will be laying some bets this week, and maybe next week I'm going to ask Jeff. We're going to kind of do some NFL ones down the line. We're going to take $100. I think I've already put it in the account, and we're going to make some bets and see how we do during the course of the year. And of course, our pick segment coming up in the near future. But yeah, Rafael Esparza will join Jeff and I next Thursday night, and every other week until September when the first game, and then Rafael will join us each and every week. So make sure you go to mybookie.ag to place all your bets. Rafael's a good guy. I'm pretty sure, Jeff, that if you win, he'll pay you.
No, let's yeah. Well, it's not like we'll be able to track him down, right?
No, I'm sure we can't. But Jeff, let's wrap this thing up. Let's talk a little bit real quick about the playoffs and the Super Bowl. We're gonna probably hold off to the Thursday before the season starts to make our predictions for the playoffs. Since there's no preseason and no preseason games, let's at least let training camp play out. But with
all of this talk of everything that you're bringing up now, is there even going to be a 16-game season this year?
I don't know.
I
think your other one was bigger. I'm curious. You know what, Jeff? I think the Super Bowl is the thing I'm always thinking is in jeopardy. And here's the thing I'll ask you. What's the Super Bowl look like with no fans in the stands?
Oh, I brought that up earlier, man. I don't know. I really don't know.
Think about it. It's so fan-friendly. You have the NFL experience. I've gone to 2 Super Bowls. And if you're a fan of the game, there's just so much happening before the game even thinks about starting. All week you got the NFL Fan Fest. You go there and you have all sorts of interactive stuff. There's just so many parties and stuff. It's just such an event that without all of that, it's just back to being a game. I'm curious if for the fan like you and I who really just love the game itself, will it make it a better experience not having all of that other bullshit around the game?
I don't know. I don't know because, for that 1 week, that's the week of the Pro Bowl, you see nothing.
Right.
There's nothing about the Super Bowl. And then the following week comes in and then there's, a lot of interviews and stuff, but it's not really, worthy to me of all the attention it gets. It's not like, yeah, I can't wait to see this, hear about this. And so to me, the week before, it just doesn't do much for me, to be honest.
Okay.
A little bit of case. But as you get closer to the game, the excitement builds. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like you said, I'm worried. Is there even going to be a game? Will that happen? Will they cancel it?
I don't know.
Play a 8-game season or less. Do they still even have the Super Bowl?
No, I would tell you that if you don't play 16 games, then there is no Super Bowl. There's no champ. You have to finish it. You have to go through the whole playoffs to even have a champion. And yes, I don't believe that. I think if you stop after week 8, the season's over and everybody goes home. So I got to tell you, of all the things that would bother me, I think the one I think would bother me most if there was no Super Bowl to watch this year.
Oh, without a doubt, man. That's.
Yeah, I was already in plan to talk to you about a Hard Rock and Sports Super Bowl party. Try to have a party someplace. Talk to, one of our friends who has an establishment, and talk to see where we can have a Hard Rock and Sports themed Super Bowl party. But I guess that's out right now.
Tom, it's at this point in time. I don't know when to think. When we're even going to be able to get back to a normal reality. Like,
sure.
Will there be people in any of the games this year? Some of the clubs are talking.
Yeah.
Fans, some of the clubs are talking contingency plans. Nobody is ever even bringing up the possibility of next year at this time, it'll be normal.
Yeah. No.
Bands are booking and pushing concerts back till next year.
Yeah.
We're already at the end of July. This year's a wash without a doubt. And I just want to see other big events, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That, the Rockefeller Christmas tree lighting.
Wow.
That. New Year's Eve. Football dropping in Times Square. What happens with that? You know what I mean? So if none of that happens, how do you expect 6 weeks later after that, or 4 weeks later, whatever it is, to have a Super Bowl and have fans in there and everything else? So there's a lot of stuff that you're like, wow, how is this all going to happen? I just don't understand it.
Yeah,
I really don't.
Yeah, it's good. Listen, I think there's a lot of up in the air for the rest of this year and into next year. I know the U.S. just bought 300 million or 100 million doses of a vaccine when it's ready.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's a lot of good stuff coming down the pike, but still a long way. And Jeff's right. Who knows what regular life's going to be? Forget about sports life. Regular life, what do we? Will it be a Thanksgiving Day parade? Super Bowls, at Times Square. Will Times Square be empty this year for New Year's Eve? Lots of things to think about. I have no idea. That's a good question. Yeah. So whether there's a Super Bowl or not is even less of a big deal. But again,
and every day that goes by that life is like this, it's going to put more fear into more people. Are you going to see people wearing masks for the next 5, 10, 15 years?
Yeah, it's very possible. I don't know. I would have told you 3 months ago that this would be done and gone by now.
I thought so. I thought that it was going to be 2 weeks. Everything was going to be locked down for 2 weeks, and then we were good. But evidently not.
Yeah, I don't know where we stand, but we'll be back every Thursday night to talk about it. And for the record, I'm just going to say it again. I wish that the commissioners of all the sports would do away with the social messaging and the politics during the games. I don't want it, don't need it. And it's actually pushing me to the point where I don't want to watch. And I will be, watching my favorite teams or watching the NFL via highlights and reading in the newspaper. But I'm just tired of getting hit over the head with social messaging and politics. So please, guys, keep it out. Let us enjoy ourselves for a few hours every week, and get to do the show with the NFL is such a big part of our show that I just hate to think of not watching games, Jeff, and not be able to talk about our teams, good or bad.
Yeah, it really is a shame, Tom, because like you said, it's a little bit of an escape.
Yeah.
At this point in time of life, I mean, my commute and everything for work is minutes. Yours is a different story. My wife's is a different story. We all like to unwind a little bit and just relax a little bit. And football is what we like to watch and what we like to sit back and enjoy and everything else. And now with this, people are going to be ruining it, it seems, with all of these political messages that just shouldn't be. Just shouldn't be. Just show the game.
I agree.
I think football should just turn around and say, listen, to avoid any of this controversy, we're not going to show the what do you call it? The national anthem on TV for any of the games except for the Super Bowl. That is the only game that we're going to do, and then even then, we're just going to show the flag or the flyover or the eagle, whatever it is that they do. And just concentrate on that. We support all lives, not just black lives, not just white lives. Go down the middle, but they're not. They're making a choice, and I don't know if they understand the choice that they're making. It's all money driven. If that's what I firmly believe, what it comes down to is it all being money driven.
Yeah, no. Listen, that's all it is, and I don't understand where the pressure's coming from. I don't know if it's from the players themselves, but I think what they have to realize, if you're the NFL, is if like we talked about before. Now, when I was getting to my Goya thing, was just as easily as we ran to go buy Goya. The middle class, the silent majority, the common sense thinkers, we can easily stop buying your products.
Yeah, but you know what? Listen, it's not Goya. All right, that guy made an attempt to support two different presidents.
Yeah,
of two different parties. It wasn't like there was two Democratic presidents, two Republican presidents. He supported a Democratic president and a Republican president.
Yeah.
And who is the one that makes the stink over it? That chick AOC, who's Hispanic herself, isn't she?
Yeah.
I'm sure that at one point in time or another, she's eaten or used Goya products. It's, I'm not trying to sound stupid by saying that, but if you're out there buying Goya products, you can't tell me she never once had Goya products in her household.
Oh no, she's saying stop buying it now. She wasn't saying that she did support it before. She's saying, well, this guy came out and supported the president, so now let's go out and protest and not boycott his stuff. And to me, the next day I was in a local place. Listen, same here. People said, don't. We're not going to sell Aunt Jemima. We're not buying no more Mrs. Butterworths. I went out and bought them. I have them. In fact, I bought Jeff a set of Mrs. Butterworth stuff.
Thank you, and I'm looking forward to getting it.
I will drop it off. I'm going to be picking up my guitars at Panino's early next week, so I will stop by your house and drop it off.
Well, let me know. Maybe you come over and we have a burger around the yard or something.
I will. We'll definitely do that. But I think with politics, sometimes your desired thing works against you. And I think what I mean by that is the NFL, by pandering, is pushing a lot of people away, and you're going to get us to stop buying products, or you're going to stop getting TV. Your NFL's relying this year, Jeff, totally right now, especially at the beginning of the season, on viewership. And if people don't watch and the ratings go down, they're in big trouble. Nobody's going to the stadiums.
No, they're not, and I don't understand it. But evidently, they have a plan, and it's listen, I just hope that it doesn't work out for them as planned.
Yeah, well, again, I'm hoping that this stuff goes away slowly but surely. I just don't see it happening, and I think Major League Baseball, I think all the sports except for hockey, I've not heard any sort of talk about social messaging or decals or patches or any of that stuff. So I'll say the first three, especially basketball, I think they're doing themselves a disservice. Keep politics out. Let's just enjoy a few hours a night just arguing over, whose team is better and whose player is better, and leave the politics out of it. And we'll all be happier. But we'll continue to call the leagues and their commissioners and harass whoever we can to try to get our point across. But I think it's time to wrap this one up. Jeff's got Basil nearby, and
Yes,
I'm a little.
pain in the ass.
So let's start the thank yous. First, I want to thank Jeff's cousin Allison for stopping by, Babe Vigoda herself for coming on and talking roller derby with us. That was a lot of fun. Thanks to Joe Flynn and everybody on Facebook who popped in for a few minutes to kind of keep up with what we're doing over here. So thanks, guys, for switching over. Thanks to my dad for calling in. I always welcome my dad calling in. Thanks to everybody on Facebook. And, of course, the big thank you to my partner in crime, the sexiest man on the right side of my screen, Mr. Jeff Towinski, for about two and a half hours of good conversation. We went through the NFL tonight, and it's that to me is one where it started and where it shall keep going for the Hard Rock and Sports Show.
Always a lot of fun, man.
Huh?
Always a lot of fun.
Absolutely. So, Jeff, you got a couple days off now. You're on the beginning of your time off week, right? Or are you doing some overtime?
No, I'm now working regular 8-hour days, 40-hour week instead of the 4 10-hour days. So I'll be off Friday, Saturday. My wife is going away.
Oh, really?
Upstate to go visit her mother and father.
Okay.
She'll be gone for a few days.
She's taking the credit cards with her, I hope. Drunken purchases.
No drunken purchases. Can't do that, man. Can't do that. I can talk other people into doing that. That's more fun.
That is more fun. All right, so Jeff will be around, but yes, I will be stopping by when I drop off my pick up my guitar and drop off my next one for some servicing. But in the meantime, guys, I hope you guys have a nice weekend. If you're watching baseball, great. If you're not, I understand. But please make sure, guys, email, send, make phone calls. Let the leagues know that we're not happy. Let your politicians know that we're tired of it. Don't sit back. Don't be the silent majority. Get out there and voice your opinions. Not just be a Facebook warrior. By the way, Jeff, how much longer are you in Facebook jail?
2 weeks.
Oh boy, still a long way to go.
Yeah, it's a long 30 days this time around.
Yes, it has been a long 30 days. But make sure, listen, don't just be a Facebook warrior. Get out there and let people know what you think, and maybe we'll change the world a little bit. And thank God for our president going into these liberal cities and saving people. I think the guy's done a great job with it this week. But I digress. Enjoy your weekends, everybody. But Jeff, we got to close up. There's a certain way we close up every show.
That's
you know what it is?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's. I gotta get over there.
You just had it up.
I did, and it's there. And it's.
Playing rock and roll music keeps you a child. That is, keeps you in a state of arrested development.
No, I feel it's more like going to a national park or something. Preserve the roots.
Are you playing it?
Yeah, it's playing very low for some reason. I'm trying to.
I don't hear it at all.
Yeah, I don't know why it's. I'll try one more. Hold on a second. Let's see.
Ooh, black.
Very black.
Always a good choice.
It's like space without the stars, isn't it?
Oh, that's beautiful. That's poetry, that is.
It's very restful, isn't it?
Yeah,
What was that?
like a pastel black.
It's a great way to
This is Spinal Tap, the DVD menu.
Oh, okay.
tune up your set.
Yes, I have that off the DVD. Yes.
This is, it's like an airplane going over your head. Hello. Oh, that's great.
I recognize it.
Can't hear none really, but
Blow it up. Blow it up.
Where'd it go?
No, they're going to freeze it. It's still there, but it's
No, it can read
rather
that.
small.
Hold
Well,
on.
you've got to get very close to
Run
your
it back.
set.
Run it back. Make it big again.
If you got high definition, then you'll die.
What-
You're too
what-
close to the
What
screen.
are those buttons on the bottom there?
Play.
Well, it says play. That's
Yeah.
obvious. You can play
Wait,
the
are we supposed to
bloody
play?
movie. No,
You gotta love those guys, Jeff. No matter what.
yeah, I'd say.
All right, guys. We have to fix this up during the week. But thanks to everybody who came out tonight. I really appreciate it. For Jeff and myself and everybody here at Hard Rock and Sports, say thank you. Enjoy your weekend. We look forward to coming back next Thursday night, and lots of things coming up in the future, and some bigger and better guests hopefully down the line. But for now, guys, stay healthy, stay safe, have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next Thursday night, 6:30 to 9:30 on the Hard Rock and Sports Show. Hey, Hefe, thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, man, you got it, dude.
Talk to you over the week. Take care. Good night, everybody.